How everybody doing on tonight? That's what I'm looking for. Do you hear the men on the inside of this building on tonight? They got a wall on the inside of them. Somebody roar! Yes. On tonight, guys, I know you're just tuning in, and I want to let you know that we want to invite you to the Cave Takeover. Tonight, it is going to be awesome. I got some great men of God with me who done been through the struggle, who done been through the bottom, but now they done gave their life to God, and they standing tall. Tonight, y'all, it's going to be awesome. I just got a question before I bring the men of God up, and this is the question for somebody online. Online on tonight, I just want to ask you, what is a foundation? I just want you to think about that. What is a foundation? And as you think about that, I'm going to go ahead and give you the title tonight because I don't want to keep hindering this because I'm ready because I know we're going to be on fire. But tonight, the title tonight is, what does your foundation look like? And tonight we got some men from MBOMI. They're going to speak to you. They're going to speak to your soul. They're going to speak to your spirit, man. And I believe before the night is over with, you're going to be on the right foundation. So can you help me? Can you help me welcome up the M? Can you help me some help right now? Come on, man. Yes, Lord. Y'all, it's going to be on fire. So right now, while as they're coming, this is what I need somebody to do. If you're not in the building, and if you're on live as the men come, I need you to share this. I need you to share. I need you to share it to your daddy, your granddaddy, your brother. I mean, any man of God that's in your life, any man that maybe you don't have God, he's going to need this tonight. So I need you to share, tag them. I don't know if you need to get on the phone. Give them a phone call and let them know it is going down tonight. It is the Cave Takeover. How y'all feeling?
Good.
That sound good. Hey, y'all know what we do at MBOMI. I mean, I heard the crowd already, but y'all know what we do. Can we roar right quick? Can we make That's fire right there. Fire. We about to go in. So tonight, y'all, I want you to go ahead and put on your seatbelts. Go ahead and get your popcorns. Go ahead and get your drink, because you ain't going to want to miss this rail. Because usually right here, think about it, we got no commercials. You see what I'm saying? But we about to go ahead and get started, y'all. Hey, I'm excited. Y'all want to introduce yourselves? We'll start with you, and we'll go to the back.
Toby Sturgis.
Come on.
I'm John Bradley.
I'm Daniel Hood.
Victor Peterson. Zachary Turnage.
Paul Rowe.
Chris Roller.
Robert Postel.
DeAndre Becker. Anthony Keys.
Deacon Javane. And I'm Apostle Sean. So tonight we about to go. Let me hold y'all. That's my bad right there. What you say?
I'm Daniel J. Williams.
But you got that other thing on. You got to put that spin on it. You know how you do. You Daniel J. Williams, and what else? What's your slogan?
Daniel J. Williams, and what we give you tonight, you're definitely going to need to act accordingly.
Come on now. Y'all might need to turn his mic up. I need to hear him. Yes, Lord. So tonight, y'all, we're going to go ahead and dive on in. Like I said, tonight we dealing as far as with foundation. And the topic, once again, is what does your foundation look like? I believe God got a word for somebody on tonight. I believe he got a word for a man. I believe he got a word for a woman, too. Also to know how to understand her man of God, her husband, her future husband. So how are we going to do this tonight? Since we talking about foundation, hey, you like you ready. So when you think about what does foundation mean to you? Like the definition of what does it mean to you, foundation?
What you build on. Foundation is what you build on. So what I think about foundation is putting God first at the head of your household. Once you put God first, everything else will fall in line.
Come on. Anybody else want to tell me what foundation means to them? Anybody?
Yes, sir. I believe, as Brother Toby stated, foundation is what you're building on. And, of course, you got to put God first, not only in your household, but in everything you do in life. You have to make sure he's first, so you're not acting out of flesh. You can go according to the Spirit of the Lord to lead you and guide you in every direction that you need to take. And as long as you have that foundation starting off as God, all things are possible through the Lord. So you just got to have faith right behind it, and everything will go as purpose.
I love that. I want to dive in from there, but I'm going to be still. I'm not going to let that fire come right now. Anybody else want to give it a try? Because I could have ran with that right there. Anybody else? Foundation.
I got to think of like the foundation process. So the first thing you have to do is break the ground. So you have to uproot everything that you already had there, and before you can even lay anything. So I think of God like when you first get in God, He uproots those things. That's why you go through those trials and you see where you were and you see the change in yourself, and now that's where you start building. Your prayer life. Reading your word. You start building that solid foundation that won't waver. And then the best part about it, I learned this, that you got to make sure that the ground is strong. I was telling my brothers that earlier today, because if you don't have the appropriate ground that can support the foundation that you're trying to build, it's gonna fail.
So look at y'all. I promise I'm gonna get to you. Now I see that man started and the wave came over here, but you say something so profound. You say something about break the ground. Do you understand? Give us a little bit more about breaking the ground.
Well, it's kind of funny because we're doing that right now. It's literally like uprooting, like you breaking it to actually make sure that it's strong enough and can uphold what you're going to build on it. So like you're taking all the dead things away. So like it's like you're doing two things. You're actually building and destroying the enemy at the same time.
Well, that's powerful. So oh yeah, you can touch on that. We're gonna touch on this right here, because what I understand is that when it comes to a man got to understand that I might start off on the wrong foundation, but if that wrong foundation I started off on, I got to break now and I got to rebuild. One thing I come to learn, I'm gonna get you, Brother Rashad. One thing I come to learn is that before they build any type of house or before any type of structure go on a piece of land, they test the soil to make sure it got good soil. The Bible speaks on soil, but go ahead, brothers.
So when it comes to breaking ground, God took me a little deep this morning, and I actually broke down the word human. So human comes from the Latin word humus, which is ground. So when you say breaking ground, we got to understand that when God made man, he made man from the ground. And the other part of that, which is man, means servant. So, when you actually learn your identity, God created us from the ground to cultivate the grounds, to break ground, for him to do what he wanted to do. And once you understand that is the identity, then now you can understand, okay, I have to give God everything in order for me to get everything. Because if not, God's going to do you like he did me, where he broke me down to the point to where I had to get to him. I had to fully submit to him in order to get to the place that I am now.
That's good. Anybody else want to give that a shot? You go ahead.
A lot of men, we like to go ahead and put the pressure on ourselves. We want to put everything on ourselves. And when God truly wants to break us, it really has to get to a point where we go straight to God. And the reason for that is if you want a big, major house, you want all these blessings, you want all this promotion, you want all this criteria on you, and you can't handle it because your foundation is not strong enough to even handle it. So once you actually uproot yourself and put God at the very bottom of it and say, you know what, God, I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to give everything to you. I want you to go ahead and build my house. I want you to make a mansion out of my life. I want you to go ahead and make a mega mansion out of my life. And that's how you actually got to get yourself uprooted, because if you put yourself at the first foundation, you're not going to be able to do it. It's just going to fall, and it's just not going to be able to hold up.
So I got a question right here, being that we talking about foundation. So my question is, being that we still on foundation, we talking about breaking the ground. So can any one of you brothers up here let another brother know how you broke the ground, how you broke, like to a man that got a worldly foundation right now? How did you broke your ground and got to the place where you at right now?
By submitting to God.
But and that sound good, but I'm a brother in the streets right now. And you say by submitting to God. I don't understand that. You gotta give me a little bit more. I mean,
Me myself, I had a lot of strongholds, a lot of demons. And I'm still crying out to God right now. You know, so the main thing that you got to do is just remember we all go through something. And my story might not be yours, but we all got a story. And mine go way, way back from a kid when I was a little boy. And
somebody need this.
yes, Lord. Growing up in the house with my father, because my mother passed when I was a baby. So, love was something I never knew. I knew how to survive, and that's what I did. And actually, I thought that's what love was, surviving. But love is understanding how somebody else feels and being there for them. But for years, I didn't know how to do that.
Jesus.
But I'm still learning.
Yes, Lord.
I'm still learning. And it get hard at times. You know, like he said, we can easily say submit to God, but all the time it don't work because that devil be on your trail. And the more you seek God, the more that devil seek you. You know, so sometimes we get caught up and don't even realize it because we ain't praying enough, we ain't fasting enough. You know, so I say to anybody out there, you know, just keep praying and keep realizing that God loves you no matter what. And no matter what you do, you can always come to him. Because when nobody else don't care about you, he do.
So, I mean, you share some good stuff there, and I believe, far as if you think about it, you have a lot of men struggling with love. You have a lot of men struggling because they didn't get that father love. And, you know, being that a man didn't get that father love, or maybe the mother been in the home, but it's something they was missing. It'll cause them to do stuff outside, looking at far as what the world is doing, and it'll cause them to take on the identity of the world. Because, I came from a home way far as my mother, she was a single parent, and God knows she did everything in the world to be able to provide for us, to be able to give us everything we want. And I had really no wants. When I was coming up, I understood the struggle because I understood that it's evening. I'm about to take you somewhere, and we eating grits in the evening time. But at the end of the day, she's still making sure the lights on, or she making things on. But at the end of the day, you know, my mother loved me. She gave me the love that a woman can give me. And at the end of the day, I was longing, I was dying for my father's love, a man that's living that I never could get. And being up the foundation she gave me, I'm gonna give it to somebody. The foundation she gave me, I understood right from wrong. I understood I don't need to go out and do this or do that, but I still had some tendencies that I go out and do. I might have did the things that I have because I was like, oh, that's too hard, that's too bad to do. But by doing that, I think I never really look at the men out there as a father figure. But I just seen them doing certain things that I said I never do, and I ended up doing it. And by me doing it and getting involved in those things, the love you talking about, the street starts showing me love. When you feed the block gonna love you. You feeding them and not knowing they only loving you because you giving them something. You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna love you, they'll praise you, they God, because you take care of their light bill, their house bill, you take care of their shopping, you take care of all of that. But in the day, there wasn't love. So my question would be, far as even with your experience, how you say far as love, how, and I know it was God, like how you overcame that. I believe, if did you tell us already? How did you overcame it? Like how did you get to the point where you at far as in, with that love thing?
Well, God put somebody in my life that showed me what love really was. He gave me a wife, a helpmate,
Come on.
and she loved me.
Somebody needed. You're doing good.
She loved me when I didn't love myself. See, a woman can teach you how to love, but a man that don't know how to love can only destroy everything he touch. So I had to come to the reality that all the things I was putting in my life to substitute love, selling drugs, doing, surviving, and it still wasn't the way. And God had to take me out and put me in the penitentiary in order for him to get my attention. So he allowed the devil to put me in the penitentiary so he can get my attention. But if you don't build a right foundation while you're in there, you'll come back in these streets and do the same thing. So you gotta realize that you can't never give up on God because he'll never give up on you.
Yes, Lord.
So that's the way that you find love. Because when he put her in my life, he put a great woman in my life.
Yes, Lord.
And she taught me that I couldn't get over on everybody, that I had to learn how to treat people. I didn't know how to talk to people. I would talk to people like they were dirt. I remember one time we was in the restaurant, and I talked to the waitress so bad until my wife said, you know, I ain't coming back to the restaurant with you until you learn how to talk to people. She said, because that don't make sense. She said, you talking to them like that and they got to fix your food. And that was something I had never thought about in years. I just thought that I was above everybody. I could just treat them any kind of way. You know, it was all about me. It wasn't about nobody but me. So, you know, I had to realize, and it took me a long time, a lot of years, and I'm still fighting and I'm still wrestling. But y'all brothers just got to keep me in prayer because prayer is the only thing that's going to deliver you. So y'all just keep me in prayer and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Come on
Because
now.
I know God loves me.
He gave you a strong foundation. He gave you the wife and he gave you some other brothers. So DeAndre, I don't know. It's just something that I hear about love. If you ever been in that situation, I don't know, but if you was, if you was, how did you handle a situation like that?
Talking about the same situation he was in.
Yeah, like just love situation, same thing. Like,
I'm gonna just be like, I'm gonna try to be brief as I can because I don't want to take up time. I know
we got all the time in the world. We on our own
I
network.
just want to be mindful of my brothers, like, you know, everybody get a chance to speak. But when we talking about, you know, just being in a place where you couldn't love or you couldn't like express love, like even if you meant it in your actions, but it didn't show in your exterior, like you meant it with your motive, but it just wasn't showing on the outside. Me not having my pops in my life, like he was in my life, but he wasn't in my life. Like he was around, you know, he did stuff for me on my birthdays, but he wasn't there to be a father for me. Like, you know, I used to get straight A's in school, like, and show him my report cards, and he'd just walk away like it was nothing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, facing that disappointment and looking for that male affirmation, you know, it made me angry. Like, it made me, I even started slacking in school. Like, I feel like I was one of the smartest kids in my class, like, growing up, but getting 4.0s, all that. But when I got to high school, I started turning to my bros in the hood, like people that I was around and people that, you know, he had showed me the love and, you know, the affirmation that I was looking for with my father. I wasn't getting it. So when I started turning to them, I started, you know, smoking weed, drinking a little bit. We used to skip school and go to, you know, my bro house and do all kind of crazy stuff, man, with, you know, females. I'm just being real, like just being raw. Like, and it took me on a path that, you know, I really wasn't trying to go on, you know, but I thank God for my mama. Like, she never stopped praying. She never stopped praying for me. I even said that in one of my songs. I said, I was like, they counted me out, but my mama kept praying for me. Like, you know, and that's really real life. Like, I literally was on a path of just going down the wrong road, like getting shot at. I seen somebody get killed right in front of me at the age of 16 because of what I was, you know, doing, like going down the road and the path that I was on. And it, you know, made me just angry with the world. I didn't want to be around people. I started developing, you know, anxiety where I thought my family, friends, everybody that really loved me was against me. I felt like it was me against the world. Like, and if I can be even more transparent, when I came down here in 2017 the first time, like I still had that residue still on me. Like, not really knowing it because I'm thinking this is just who I am. Like this is I'm DeAndre, this is me. But it's really when you take on traits, it start to become a part of your personality to where you thinking it's just, you know, how you are, but it's really something else that's operating on the inside of you. And when I came down there in 2017, just like I said on Wisdom Wednesday, I got refilled and it changed my life from then. But even still though, it's still some steps to it. Like even now I'm still being made more into the image of God. Like I'm not perfect by any means. And I thank God for my wife who's here today because, you know, she helped me in certain areas, like how to be patient and how to not, even when we driving, like, you know, so when somebody cut me off crazy, like, cause they not driving right, DeAndre, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you know, she helped me keep myself in check. Like, it's something about a woman, they know how to calm you. Like, they know how to make sure you stay even keeled, like, and stay on the path that you're supposed to be on. So I do thank God for my wife and everything. And I thank God, like I said, for my mama for praying for me because her praying for me, like, spared my life so many times. If mama wasn't praying for me, I'd probably be dead or somewhere, like, to be real with you, or in jail somewhere because I was doing crazy stuff. And I just thank God for that. And, you know, as I progressed in God and my wife, you know, began to show me things, that love started to show. Like, and when I came back, like, I was a different DeAndre. Like, I wasn't the same as I was back in 2017, and I still had room for growth, and I'm still growing. But being a part of this ministry is helping me become even a better man of God. Like, just being around my brothers that are sincere about God, that's real about God, it just makes you grow. You can't stay around people that's whole and still be broken and still be in bondage. Like, you going it's like you know when they talk about the branches and the trees on the branches, I mean the branches on the trees, like all the bad branches are gonna eventually fall off. So if you around healthy and whole people, you have no choice but to be healthy and whole. And I just thank God for y'all because like just being around y'all and just getting that brotherhood that I never had because I got all sisters. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got one brother on my dad's side that I never really knew because he was never around. And then I got a younger brother that's real young. He's the youngest out of all my mama kids. So mama got 6 of us. I got 1 brother and 4 sisters. You know, I'm the second oldest. So I never had no, you know, brothers other than the ones I met in the streets, you know, and they was leading me down the wrong path. So I just thank God for finally having a brotherhood that's real and that can hear God too, because a lot of y'all can hear God. Well, all of y'all can hear God, you know what I'm saying? And I just thank God for that, you know, that I finally got that around me to be able to grow in my love walk.
Wow. I'm going to get another brother. I'm going to let another brother answer that. But you say some key things in there. I want to make sure that I point out some of at least one of the key things you said. We still talking about foundation, and you say for us, when you got around, for us, when you got your wife, you started changing, you started going through a process. Then you came back and said, for us, when you came to NBOMI, you surround yourself around brothers who can hear God, who got a prayer life. So you got to understand, for somebody who is watching, that's key, that's important. Because the Bible tell me, well, not the Bible, I mean, it's an old saying, well, birds of a feather flock together. And I heard another saying that if you hang around a barber shop long enough, you will soon get a haircut. So what I'm trying to tell you is that's old slang. See, we took that thing back to the days. Only an old man to understand that. But that's wisdom. So what I come to understand is that the reason I did things that I said that I didn't supposed to do because I wasn't around godly people. Not putting anybody down, because that was me, that was my life. But if I was in the church around the right church people, let me say that right. But if I had the right foundation coming up, somebody steering me in the right direction, I wouldn't did half of the things I was doing. But see, when you got that foundation, when you see your cousin, that man, and all they do is sleep with women, then guess what? I'm gonna become a product of that. If I'm in the neighborhood and if you got dope boys everywhere, right around on them. I think they used to call them like grown men. See, I'm out of that right now, so I don't know. I really don't. But I think they call them grown men, the rims or whatever back then. You know, you want that, so that attracts you, and you like, I'm gonna do what I got to do to get that. They got all the women, they got all the money, they got all of this. Why I need to struggle? I ain't got to struggle. But that was the wrong foundation. So the key thing is here tonight, you got to have the right foundation, and you got to have the right men in your life. And if you have the right men, you'll respond different. Somebody want to tackle, I want to take one more on that question for as what Daniel and Toby was talking about, love, and we're going to move to another one. Who want to take love? If love you wasn't receiving caused you to act out a certain way.
Don't matter. You want it, don't want it.
So my story is a little bit different. I had both parents growing up, and you know, I got a big family. I can say that for sure. My mom got like 8 or 9 siblings, and we grew up in the church. My grandfather had built the church, so it's just a bunch. It's a bunch more people, but as a child, you don't look at what you have. You look at what you don't have. So you don't care that your moms love you or your dad love you. You don't care that your aunt and uncle love you. You know, they gotta love you. That's your family. You want love from the people who don't love you. Why don't they care about me? I want them to love me. So what do I have to do to get them to love me? And you end up falling in the wrong crowds. You know, growing up in a game of competition, it's about what can I top? What can I do? And I really wasn't out on the streets like that. I wasn't, at a young age, I had a truck accident where I had got ran over, so that really made my moms keep me close. But I had a lot of people in my family, including this man right here. It's a testimony that he's alive right now. Like, a lot of people, I had a whole spectrum of people, from the video game nerds to the killers, the drug dealers, the robbers. Like, so as far as love, like it's a difficult word because every one of us have a different story, but at some point in our lives, we feel like we didn't have it, whether it was from a parental figure or from people in the streets or from somebody you look up to. But one common denominator we all kind of have is parents trying their best to show love. Even in Toby's story, the topic tonight is what is your foundation? What does your foundation look like? Toby's dad might have got half of the love that Toby's dad showed Toby, but that's just what he knew. You know, that's what he knew. So he might have really been trying to show him love and different things like that, but that's what he knew. Like it's hard to do something that you don't know. So I mean, in terms of a foundation, now that we know, I think we have to take it upon ourselves to show anybody love. You know, we serve a God of unconditional love. I'm pretty sure we could all think, we don't have to tell our stories, but we could think of the worst things that we've done, and God still loves us. He still values us. For me, he could take us off this earth right now while we're on this stage, but he still honors us and loves us. So even, you know, little boys on the street be doing little silly stuff. You know, if you catch them, don't beat them down or nothing, but like, hey, why are you doing that? And really try and find out, you know, what the issue is, because it might be a simple story to you. You know, things don't often happen by coincidence. So you know, they say each one reach one and each one teach one. Yeah. Feel me? So it's just like that, we don't have to be on this major platform to change the world. But if I talk to this young man and he changed his life, then he talked to another one, and then another one, and another one. We just change the world like that. So love could change the world.
So I'm going to say this right here about love, and I'm going to switch it. We're going to go somewhere else. And just to add on, I think far as we got to understand, we got to know far as what love is too. Because a lot of people think love is something, and it'll cause, like even with the young man, it'll cause them to do certain things because they feel like he loved me.
and it's really only attention is what they're giving you. So like you say, it's important for us now that God help us got where we at. Like you said, if we see them on the corner, if we see them in the streets, we got to snatch them up and like, yo, let me teach you this way. I've been there. And you know what I come to find out is the good and the bad work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called by his name, right? So that means if I went through, Joseph had to go through. Joseph had to go to prison, and then he went to his palace, isn't it? So what I come to understand is that I got to understand I went through it. He allowed me to go through it. I recovered from it. Now I'm in this position. Now I'm going to make sure that no other body around me or in my circle or in my environment, in my atmosphere, don't have to go through what I've been through. So let's move on. We about to get to the nitty gritty. I mean, how many up here husbands? Come on now. Dog, I gotta, hold a minute. How many husbands? I need you to raise, you ain't you a husband, ain't it? Well, we about, so that means we only got 200 pounds that are a husband? 3? Where the three at? Oh, we got 3? So check this out. So this would be the next question right here. This for husbands, and it's also for maybe a man, which, you know, I mean, it happens. We're in the world. Maybe you might be with that woman because, you know, I never understood this. You know, this is the cave. We can talk about anything we want to talk about. We on our end. Oh, they can't cut us off. I just don't understand, how can a man be with a woman for 20 years and you ain't married? There's something wrong with that. I didn't see old men that say, oh, I live in this house and she live in that house, but we married. Oh, no, they either married or they not married, but they come along married. But this right here going to bring me to my next question. Y'all ready? Yeah. I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying. What's the difference between being the man of the house and the leader of your home? Now this is like a little trick question. Now you got that little quiz, and you're like, what? I'm gonna read it one more time. What's the difference between being the man of the house and the leader of your home? Who want that? And then you got Paul after you.
A man is a person.
I need you speaking loud on this one.
A man is a person. A lead is a direction.
Break that down one more time, son.
All right, so a man.
No, I need you to say how you say it.
A man is a person. A lead is a direction.
Ooh. You want to elaborate, or what you want to do? You want to pass it to Paul? Let Paul get you.
Real quick, because I think he had his own thoughts.
Go ahead.
A man, anybody with male genitalia and is over the age of 18 is a man. But a leader is somebody that's going to ensure that you're going in the right direction. They're not just going to give you money and, all right, yeah, I gave you that. They're not just going to pop in on your birthday and be there for the pictures. They're going to be there when the time isn't fun. When the kid is saying, I hate you, they're still going to be there and they're still going to love him.
Wow. Who we got next? We got Paul. Paul.
I feel like the man is, like he said, of age with the genitalia, but it's like the ego. Like you could be the man of the house and just be wrong in everything you say, but if you're the leader and be like blatantly wrong and like don't consider her or whatever because I'm the man, you know, whatever, like that. But a leader, they say to be a good leader, you got to be a good servant, a good follower. So not only are you, okay, you might be saying, you know, we're going to do this, but when you say we're going to do this, you saying it like, how do you feel about it, babe? You don't want to would you like to do this? Do you think this is a good idea for us? You know, it's not just me that I have to consider, it's us that I have to consider. So.
Somebody say, come on, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
Paul. But yeah, we gonna. This is you like. I'm gonna let you go before I go. You got the flow.
A man in the house, if you know, you got a whole bunch of men that's the man in the house. And to me, that just means that you there, you're not present all the time. You just in the house. And so when you're a leader of the house, that means that everything in that house that has to function, you got some part into that house. That means if your kids need to do this, the wife don't always feel like doing, every single thing. And it's stuff that as men that we be like, man, I ain't changing no diaper, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. for this. But as a leader, you have to understand that it's certain things that you have to, I guess, take on that will also, show that your leadership skills are there. Because, how many of us ever worked for somebody and we call them a boss? You'd be like, yo, that's a boss. That's not a leader. So when you got a boss, nobody wants to work for a boss, because a boss is the one that's like, yo, you need to go do this, and they don't tell you what direction you're going, why you're doing it, or the reason that you're doing it. But when you got a good leader, you don't really consider a good, like a boss, you'd be like, oh, that's a good leader. I like working for this person because they actually take the time out to see, they might, they're going to be interactive in your day. So I feel like if you can be a leader of the house, but that means that you need to know how everybody in your house is also functioning. You can't just let, let's say if my wife's having a bad day, then it's like my ears go up. I'm like, oh man, I got to figure out what I got to do, because I've been in tune. I'm just like, hey, this is the route that we got to do. Sometimes, if it's been a long week, I might have to, as a leader, you might have to cook. It's just certain things that you might see that to ease the house. I mean, you got to make that house flow as a leader, and you can't be a leader without, of course, like you say, a good foundation. And it also, I mean, when you become a good leader in your house, you actually got to consult God more so than yourself, because when you consulting yourself, you're more so like, okay, what am I going to do today? And then, therefore, you just became the man of the house. You're not even a leader, because God's going to tell you what moves you need to make. And you can open the Bible and be like, yo, okay, I looked at God on all this, and God say consult him in all things. So that makes you, you either become a leader or you become the man of the house to me.
That's good. I'm about to twist that question, but I got two. It's Daniel, then you. Then I'm going to put the twist. I'll put some little season on that question.
All right. So I'm looking at this, the man of the house and leader of the home. Like it's already been stated, being the man of the house is pretty much just being a figure in a structure. Because usually anytime you hear that from a male saying, I'm the man of this house, it's because he's being domineering. He wants to dominate it. And the house is just a structure. It's just where everybody's dwelling. But the leader of the home is stability there. They actually look to them, and they don't have to exert and have to go around and announce it to everybody that I'm the head, I'm the leader, I'm the one. Everybody already looks to them because they know they're the one, because there's stability in them. And the fact that it's the leader of a home, because a home is where love is. A home is where love is. A house is just a structure where everybody dwells. So therefore, him being the leader, they look to him. He don't have to announce it, and he's not domineering. You love, they want to rush to the leader with everything that they have. But in a house, nobody wants to go and talk to the man of the house because he's squashing everything down. If it's not his way, there's no way.
I don't even want to say nothing. Man, listen. Apostle, could you please read the question for me one time, real quick?
So he about to break the thing down, y'all. Watch this right here. No. So the question is, you want me to put them pause in there?
No, you just flow.
It said, what's the difference between being the man of the house and the leader of your home?
Okay, a man of the house is a daddy, and the other part is a father, right? Mm-hmm. So a daddy
we got many daddies out here, because my son asked me this question one time, so this is why it's stuck, and somebody can get the definitions between the daddy and father. But he said, what's the difference between a daddy and a father? I said, you know what, let's look it up, because I want to know that, because I didn't know it. So we looked it up, and the daddy read that it's your biological parent. So the definition of father said, in relationship. And I said, ooh, Cam, this is good. I said, so look, here's what God is saying. He's our father, and he wants us to be in relationship with him. A father is in your life. A father is leading his family. A father is going forward, not only to say, I'm the man of the house, I'm paying the bills, but you actually leading and spending time and in relationship with your kids.
Man, that's good. That's good. Let me. We ain't leaving this question, but we gonna make this question a little bit more interesting. So my next question would be, I hear everything y'all been saying, and that's good, because the Bible said that a man that finds a wife finds what? But if you go on and read about marriages, man and woman, it said a man's supposed to be what considered. He has to have consideration of his wife. So that's good. Y'all some considering man. Give yourself a hand clap. But that's nice that y'all being considered. And baby, you need help with the dishes. Baby, you need that, and you're paying a bill. That's good. But being that y'all doing all of that still, right? Listen, you helping out with the kids. You go out. You being a provider. Does that make you the man? Well, how can I put that? Does that still put you in the position to lead your house? Your mic must be off. Keep it on. We got batteries. Did he say no? Who else? I just need. Yeah. I'm gonna let you talk, but do that mean you leading the house? Cause you. Oh, okay. I need the brothers. That make you the leader of the house. I want to know. If that's what you think. I want to know.
A leader got vision.
Leader got vision? That sounds good too, though. But what vision the leader got? We getting deep. I mean, we trying to save another brother life. Another brother, they got a vision.
A leader.
He got a vision. He going to work every day, 24/7. Coming home and go pay the bills. He got vision. He said, babe, 5 years from now, guess what? We're going to have our own business. He got vision. But is that making him the lead? Is he still the leader of the house? Okay, now let me break the question down. I'm going to break it down for you. No, I'm going to still let you answer. He said he's excited about this. So, if you got a woman in the household, right? Even though she at home, she not providing, but she taking care of the house. All right? But she got a prayer life. And she praying 24/7. So when a man leaves, she in the closet praying. When a man come home, she in the closet praying. When you come, say, baby, come here, let me pray for you. She prayed when you're walking through the door. So now this the man that don't go to church, stay home, look at NFL, but the boys come, oh, we go to the bar, we can go hang out. But he's still considerate. He's still paying all the bills. Who leading the household? I just want to know who leading.
The wife.
The household.
Oh, somebody,
wife is leaving.
you gave somebody life just now. And I'm going to let y'all break it down. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the Bible tells us what the Bible tells us. The Bible tells us to go out and get what? Go get that food. Go get that daily word. Go get that bread and bring it back and give it to them. So how can I say I'm leading my family if God not leading me? So look at this right here. So you got God, which is our head. So that means we get directions from him. So if I get my directions from him, guess what? Now I got a wife that's going to submit to me. How can she be submissive to me if I'm not submissive to my head? We're going to break this thing down. I'm going to let y'all talk. And then you know what I understand? We got so many carnal-minded men in the world. Oh, you going to listen to me. Listen to you? Who you praying to? Who are you being submitted to? You might lead us off the bridge. Who you getting your vision from? That's what I'm saying. I can have a vision, but where my vision coming from? So we got to understand that I'm going to give y'all this story right here. And I'm going to be real. I keep it 100. This is the K. Hey, my life helped somebody. When Apostle K met me, You know, she let me do what I had wanted to do in the beginning, I guess because she had want me. I'm just keeping it. She had more game. I tell them I ain't got game. I think she had game. I'm keeping it real. I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm being real. I mean, I came from where I sold so much dope. I mean, I just want friends. I don't want a wife because the lifestyle I live. I want to make sure you understand. You need me, I'm here. You need something, I'm here. It don't matter what you need because I want to make sure I can still do that. You know how you want that cake and eat it too. You just call me when you want to go somewhere. When you go, I take you shopping. I take, you know what you want to do. But she played that game good too. Man. I'm trying to tell you, man, we're going to 7 o'clock in the morning. What you doing here? I'm like, how you got in here? Y'all, if I'm sure, she said, come on, we're going to church. I'm like, what? I'm like, how do we go? Man, she played that thing so good. Make a long story short, I might get to my end of my story because I know y'all got to talk. Man, he thought it's going to help somebody. Man, that woman, man, got me, and then after she done got me in tune, now here come the shift. Let me do anything I want to do. My vision, oh, your vision good. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. We gonna do that too? Yeah, you go ahead. Man, I say, we got married. Hey, that vision I had, that vision went out the door. No, babe. Man, she went, y'all, this is our cave, so I'm gonna use the word. She looked at me like, nigga. Like, where we going? And how we getting there? In 5 years we go there? And who you praying to? Yo, y'all think I'm playing this real. I'm looking at her like, what happened to you? Like, I'm lost. I'm lost. Like, me, you was cool. What happened? What are you talking about? I've been telling you over here, yeah, but you didn't have God. You like, I supposed to follow you? And you leave me off a bridge? We all die. But I'm like, you married me. I'm confused. You married me. You know what I was doing. Man, that thing started shifting some things. I mean, church. Man, I'm going to church, Sam. Man, I thought we was in church 7 days a week. We going back to church again? Man, I'm like, no, we can't be going back again. Man, I was just sitting on that cot like, no, you go. I ain't going. After a while, God shifted that. And what I come to understand is that as I got into God the way I supposed to get in God, then let me say this before I say anything I say, because I want to make sure that I don't confuse no man out there. My wife, I never had a disrespectful wife, but my wife is blunt, and she's going to make sure what she see on the inside of me that I give birth to it. And what I understand, she was stern with me. She wasn't disrespectful, but she was stern, and she made sure that I became the man of God that I was supposed to be. So at the same time, we'll have conversation. She'd be like, Jesus. I was like, babe, we going this way. You know how Jesus used to flip it? And how we getting there? And I'm like, babe, we going to do this right here. And she's like, and who you praying to? Like, she did things like that. And it made me realize, it made me thought about it. You know, I'm not really leading my household. I'm buying this woman everything she wants. I brought my wife a house at the age of, I don't know if she was 21, 22, 23. We got houses. But at the end of the day, you know, she sat me down. She said, you giving me everything. But are you leading me the right way? So I had to think about that thing. I had to reroute and do what I was doing. So I had to get in my prayer closet and make sure that now I'm going to lead the right way. And it was a process. I didn't get there overnight. I'm just being honest. Because I tried it. I'm like, man, this right here ain't work. Because how many of you know when you, I know I'm talking too much, I'm going to let y'all go. When you try God, when you get ready to turn your life over to God and say, you know, I'm going to do it this way, that thing get hard.
Look like everything fall apart.
It do. And you think like, man, I was doing good this way. And you know, as I continue to go with the flow, and she continued to push me and push me and push me, it's like what I thought I had over there was good, but it's even better now. Like, you know, like now it's like, you know, when she first met, I said, babe, we're going to the moon. Okay, we're going to the moon. After we got married, we're going to the moon. How we getting there? But now it's like, you know what? We're going to the moon. You said we gone. Hey, if you said we gone, because you understood, I got a head that I pray to. But when I had that, when I wasn't praying to that head, okay. What? Y'all can go ahead. Who wanna grab that?
I'm just gonna really go back to 2017. I used to actually be married. In we were together 8 years. The first 6 years, everything was going good. Went to church every Sunday, Bible study. She had a son, took care of him. Everything was going well. Then when we got married is when the devil really attacked. And that's when you really find out if you're the man of the house or the leader of the house. And it kind of turned very sideways. We moved to Atlanta, money dropped. Everything just went sideways, and I wasn't praying, I wasn't doing anything. I was just saying, all right, I gotta get money. It got to a point where I said, all right, I'm getting money. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. What's really going on? The wife started slacking down a little bit. Son's not doing everything he's supposed to do in school anymore, and I'm just like, it's your fault. It's your fault. I'm providing. I'm still going to church. I don't know what y'all doing, and it kind of got to the blaming. And it got to a point where I was away from the house so much because I wanted to work, get money, make sure they have everything they need. And it's just like your atmosphere. When I was at work, I was hanging with the wrong atmosphere. Stopped going to church every Sunday. Wasn't going to Bible studies anymore. Thinking, oh, it's still good. I still read my Bible. I still do everything. Then the devil said, all right, you think you're bad? Let's truly find out. When you lack on your wife, it's going to cause her to seek elsewhere regardless. It's just going to make her want to go somewhere else. And if you're not feeding her God the same way and she's not going to God by herself, she's going to seek something. And it kind of made her go somewhere else. And at the same time, it's your fault. You out here outside the relationship. At the end of the day, if I was the true leader, I would have made sure she got that love. I would have made sure I was praying. I would have made sure she still went to church. I wouldn't have let the money drive me away. I would have made sure bills was piling up. I would have made sure everything was going crazy. And to the point where it said, you know what, you want to do this on me? You want to cheat? Fine. Stop coming home, late night bar drinking, taking crazy vacations for no reason by myself. Anytime the job say you want to go on a business trip, sure, let's go. I just want to get away from the house. Leaving my family behind, literally. Saying I'm the man of the house. Y'all do what y'all got to do. I'm still going to provide for y'all. And it got to a point my mom just said, pray, Zach, pray. Like, you grew up in church, pray. And I kept ignoring it. And that's just really exactly what it is. It's, when everything's going good, you can't even say you're a leader of the house. When things go bad, is we can truly say, are you the leader of the house? Are you truly going to go down to that foundation and say, all right, God, my family's acting up. I'm in this situation. Let me come to you.
Wow.
And to lose all that and literally 4 years ago, I'm just sitting back looking like, man, I could have probably saved a whole marriage. I could have saved a whole young man. I could have saved a whole lady if I would have just stayed to the head of God. But money got piled up. Distractions got in my way. Living in the big city, moved to Atlanta of all places, so got distracted 100%. Thinking I'm the man of the house, and then 2 years later you look back and go, I really wasn't the man of the house. I was providing money, taking y'all on trips, taking you out on these small dates, making sure your son had everything. Got to a point where he used to always be around me, and he just slowly even stopped hanging around me. And so if anybody's really out there just grinding too much and you're ignoring your family, and your family's starting to tend off from you, you need to really look at yourself, do a self-evaluation. If somebody's, and even for the fact that say I was doing everything well, and say she did cheat, I would still go to God first and say, let me pray, because I'm not supposed to break a divorce with God. That's a vow to God.
Yes, Lord.
And if I love God more than anything on this earth, I'll pray to him so he can fix her. And that's the leader of the house. Not just being, I'm the man of the house, you cheated on me, la-di-da-da. And
you know one thing I come to understand? A leader don't make no excuses. If something happens, what a leader do? A leader fix it. And that's and I think the problem is, as far as with men now, it's like we became soft. We feel like we blame too much. Like, you did that. And you're supposed to be the person that fix it, no matter what. And I look at this way. Let me show you something that was powerful. I'm gonna get another brother. When Eve ate off the tree, what did Adam do? It's that woman you gave me. You see what I'm saying? Now, if Adam would have took responsibility, we wouldn't be where we at right now. Because you got to think about it. God made him the head. So if you the head, that means whatever come, you deal with. You handle it. And if you can't handle it, guess what? Daddy, I got to give this to you. You gave it to me, so, let me tell you about this right here. And and even with the cheating part, let me tell you this part right here. That is hard now. but you got to swallow on that one. But there's scripture in the Bible that, you remember, there was a woman who was a prostitute. And the man of God, either the man of God or either God told him to go get your wife. Come on now. That's powerful. Come on. So he took away the excuses. Are you going to trust me? But go ahead. I got to let another man speak.
I kind of like, I think the question is kind of like your story. It's like, as we get 18, we the man in the house. Like when you get on your own, it's like you learn to become a leader through time. Now there are different leaders, but I've learned to be a leader by following God. Now I was a leader following, by the what they call the, let's say, the false masculine, like the
False masculinity.
Like by learning those things, because like all my dad did was work. So when I was considerate, I was, all right, let me, all right, you want to do this, babe? Yeah, this, that, another, all that good stuff. But, in your story, you really show your transformation. And that was the key. Like, you can start the man house. It's my house. It is your house, okay? You get on your own, all that good stuff.
Let me help you with that, brother. I'm going to let you talk, brother. Let me help you with that. It's not your house.
Well, they think they're in the world, but it's not your house.
When you go to that judge and you got kids, that's her house. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Don't fool the man out there, but that's his house. I know what you're talking about, but don't fool that man out there. That I don't care what your name on, that's her house. Now you can go ahead.
Hey, that between them, okay? That between them.
But I can be transparent with you. When I first, I'm gonna let you try to get to your flow. When I met my wife, that I understood something, and the way I've been brought up. Now, even though my family had like the men, well, they doing, sleeping with all the women and different things right there, but they always taught me something. If you have a child by a woman, I don't care what you do, that's your responsibility. When I met my wife, I told my wife, because I know I still was working on me, I said, man, if I mess up, no matter what I do, I'm gonna still take care of you. And I told her that I ain't mess up, but I told her that because I understood my background, I understood where I came from, so I understood that I still had something inside of me that could have caused me to mess up. Because I couldn't take it away. God had to take it away. But I thank God he took it away. But don't fool no man out there and sit at his house now. Don't tell no man that. Now you can go ahead.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. But like you gotta, it's that transformation that you have when you, like how you said, you shifted in seeking God more and really, like, when you really search after God, that's when you really find how to be a true leader. Like, when I first came here, like, I remember my wife, she came to the church first. And I think she said she joined the church or got baptized, something like that. Something. I can't remember. But I looked at her, I was like, you did that without telling me? Like, that's what I thought. She was like, you crazy. I don't have to tell you that. That's between me and God. I was like, nah, you got to tell me something. You can't come back and just come back new. Nah, you can't do it.
But that's how men think, though. That's a man.
And like to come from that to now, like it's like a whole 360, because of the transformation that God done.
But you know who I blame it on? The generation before us. Let me tell you why. Because what they did, man, you had them daddy. Papa was a Rolling Stone. That's real. Guess what? They took care of that house, and the woman was so obedient, she didn't went out. She stayed there because she know that's provided. He had a house over here, a house over there, and that's where that come from. And so now you see generation, but now you got them crazy women out there. No, you ain't doing that. No. Not a black woman. You want to do that with them? I'm trying. Okay, you go try. I don't know what happened. Something must be happening back then to now. Because back then, you probably could have got away with it. In this case, this is raw right here. If you can't handle it, you might don't need to get on. But anyway, you do that now. Okay, man, they drop the kids off, and here go Juju, BB, and Lil JoJo. But who next on the series? Oh, Daniel's next, then Victor.
I just wanted to say something about, the more I think about that term, that phrase, man of the house, because you have young boys that the father walk out or whatever the case, and they tell them now you the man of the house, but nobody ever said what man of the house is. So that's like a seed that was planted to bring confusion, because there's no definition for it, and it doesn't have a foundation built out of godliness. Because when we talking about leadership and being man of the house, the woman is just like Apostle was saying. All right, he felt like he was being the lead, but you know what? He was actually being directed by Apostle K, because it wasn't going to be a submission in anybody following him until he was following God. So you can't be the lead of the home. You can't be the head of the home. You can't say that you're first in the home unless God is first for you. So in a way, I feel like you kill a whole lot of that confusion and probably pull out a whole lot of generational curses by just omitting that word man of the house, that phrase man of the house, because there's no grounding behind God before. There's no foundation that is built on God from that.
That's good. Vic?
Just to kind of reiterate what Brother Daniel was stating, I honestly believe a lot of men are confused out here when it comes with that saying man of the house. Perfect example, me, I never grew up with I never had a father in my life. So standing up here with my brothers, half of us never had a father in our lives. So if you get a little bit deeper, we try to get that love that we're missing, that emptiness that it's empty. So we trying to get that love out there in the street. But then what happens when you out there in the street is consequences. People getting killed or they're getting locked up. So now they're not in their kid's life. So it's a continuous path of what happens. In order for you to be able to lead your home, you got to have a Christ-like mind. So of course, God has to be first and to lead you in all direction. Everything that you want to do, every decision that you want to make, you have to make sure you go to God first. A wife is not going to submit to you if you don't have the Lord as your head. You can't beat your chest thinking, well, I'm a man, I paid these bills, I do this and that, I'm here, I'm going to work, I'm grinding. Yeah, but do you have the Lord? Do you have the Lord as the head? Is the Lord on the inside of you? And I made excuses for a long time saying, well, I never had a father, so I had to get out here and learn on my own. Well, guess what though? God, by the grace of God, he kept me. He converted me. And I had to realize that he's my father. So now that I don't have a biological father, he's my spiritual father. And he's going to guide me in all truth and all righteousness. And it just helps teach me how to be able to raise my kids it all goes down to the dog. The dog, everything in your house has to line up. As long as you got God as your head, everything in your house has to line up. That goes for your bills. So that all comes as far as your faith and everything, because you can speak a thing, but if you don't have 100% faith wholeheartedly in the Lord, then it's going to get weary, it's going to get shaky. So you have to look past that and understand we don't wrestle with flesh. It's spiritual thing. And, I'm sorry taking up a little bit.
Oh, you're tough, man. That's that Gucci spirit coming out. That's Chantal right there. Let that spirit rise.
I'm telling you, man, it's just an honor being around a bunch of men of God that are truly after the heart of God, man, because, it just helps us. You never know what somebody going through. And men, we don't like to express how we feel. We want to keep it bottled inside. We think we less of a man. We think we less of a man if we telling how we feel or crying out. But when you spend time with the Lord and begin to have that intimate relationship with the Lord, He will break you down in so many levels to where you have to express it. You have to surrender it all. You have to lay everything out on the altar for the Lord. And the Lord is going to help guide you and put you in the right direction, help you with every area that you're struggling in. And the number one thing is you have to be truthful to what you're struggling with. You have to be. Because people that are right, that's in the spirit, they pick up on that. If you being fake with it, you have to be right. You have to be willing. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. So you just have to be 100. Especially God knows everything.
So if you want your house to line up right, you want your dog to listen. Your dog over there barking, go, rah, rah, rah. You, guess what? You better go before the Lord and make sure he's leading. You better make sure the Lord told you to get the dog. Come on, I'm telling you. That's
What? He said you better make sure the Lord tell you to get the dog. That means in everything that you do, you better pray. Lord, this is my dog. And that dog eat the boy, you up in chain. We're gonna go to Rashad real quick.
So I was the man of the house. And the reason for that, I grew up in a 2-parent household, but when I turned 17, I found out that the man in my life wasn't really my father. So just based on that and the things that I went through in my life, it was a lot of anger, it was a lot of bitterness and things going on. And the Bible says that a sanctified wife can sanctify the husband. So what happened with me was I wasn't even in God, and I was in the situation, and God was breaking me down, and I prayed, Lord, the next woman that comes in my life, she has to be my wife, because I'm not doing this no more. And a month later, I met this woman. I knew her for like 4 years, never met her in person ever, and God put it together right there, and it was like, it's your wife right here. So long story short, she came to my apartment that I was staying at one night, and we were in God, but we didn't truly know him. And she just came to the house, and she felt the anger that was on me. She felt the situation that I was in, and she just began to speak to me. It was really God speaking to me, like, you're angry, like you got this and this going on. And she was touching me with the oil, and she was praying over me, and that broke me down. Like I really started crying, and it was like I wasn't one to cry before. It was just like, nah, I'll be all right, I suck it up, And by her doing that and her building on her end as far as getting a prayer life and going to God, it started causing friction once we got married, because it was like, she's growing spiritually, but I'm not growing spiritually. I just want to sit on the game, play Apex Legends all day, So it's like, it caused friction, and then other things happened, and God really had to break me down to where I had no car because it was an accident, so I can't go to work, so there's no money coming in, and it's like, okay, God, I'm trying, like, what's going on? And God really started to speak to me, like, you gotta line up, because you're not lining up. And, just based on her being in position, and she basically got me in position, because it's like, she's not gonna follow me if I'm not following God.
That's good. I want you said something. I know I'm about to transition to this next question, but what we were talking, it's something we were talking about as far as God will break you down, and I want to make sure that I help a man out there. Maybe you going through something right now, and you feel like your whole world is falling apart. Your world is not falling apart. That is God breaking you down. That is God just shifting you and trying to get you to this other side, this side right here where we at, and put you on this foundation, bedrock. But you said something else, because I'm about to get to this other question, because this other question is going to be amazing. I believe somebody need this. That stress part that Vic was talking about. You say that you say you was tired, right? And see, I understand. I think a lot of us up here probably been tired. I was at a place, from a world standpoint, I had a good life. I was doing good. But my spirit, something on the inside of me saying, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. And you know what I did? I ended up doing the same thing. I said, Lord, I'm tired of this. I said, I feel like I'm being used. Like I shared that with my wife after I got married. Like, don't you know, I told God, I said, God, send me my wife. I said, I'm tired now. I say, I know I'm young, but I say, I done did everything from the age of 16. I said, God, now I need you to send me my wife now. And then, God sent me my wife a month later, and I said, no, I wasn't ready for that. All right. I thought I was ready. But you have to be careful what you ask God for. I mean, it's really a month later, and the type of woman he sent, my wife was different. I'm used to doing something and wanting a woman like, go ahead, do what you want to do, blah, blah, blah. They ain't had no opinion. And, I was used to that. But then when my wife came, she showed me that I'm human. And I'm like, yo, this is different. Yo, you taking me to church. Yo, you praying over me. Like you say, you praying over me like, and nobody else did that? You're like, yo, we going to the bed, They ain't did that. Like, what can I get? Like, you doing different stuff. And that it did something, like I said, she tricked me. She really did. Like after I got married, I'm like, yo, you know, it used to be her. Her. But not knowing God was giving me what I asked for and what I had needed. But now, this next question. Now, and I think every man really needs this question, because I think this right here is the place where when they go through this, they don't really understand what they're going through. So this question would be, stress have a way of exposing weakness. So what can we do as men to prevent stress from exploding our weak points? Exploding. Go ahead.
I went to technical school for cars and stuff, and a part of that was HVAC, and HVAC deals with refrigeration and different things, and so they'll teach you about something called a pressure relief valve. When pressure builds up, and so much pressure builds up, if you don't have a pressure relief valve, then that unit is going to blow. You know, it's going to explode because there's no other outlet for it to relieve itself except for explosion. So I feel like our pressure relief is God going in the closet and crying out to God, giving it back to him. I was going to say about a leader sacrifices things. Abraham was willing to sacrifice Isaac, like literally kill him, because that's what God told him to do. So as a leader, we got to give the family back to God. God, you gave me the ability to have a family, so I got to God, you gave me the ability to get a house. You gave me the ability to get a car. I got to give it all back to you. So if we give it all back to God, that takes the stress off of us. That takes the pressure off of us to be this perfect, I got to do this, I got to do that. God, you know my wants, you know my needs, you know what they need. I need you to do it for me. I mean, I'm doing this, but you know, this is greater than this. And when we really submit and sacrifice even ourselves to God, then that takes a lot of stress off, you know. Like I said, growing up in a game of competition, you can't be seen as weak. That's what crying is. You crying, you weak. You know, you weak. Like, you can't be doing that. You a man. You know, you're supposed to be big and strong, and you crying, you weak. But if we crying out to God, I don't care who think I'm weak. For me, that's the greatest strength I have in God, is to cry out to him.
But look at this right here though, Brother Chris. Even though, like you saying, you know, and you know, as far as they really hurt us back then, as far as men. So look at this right here. You know how you saying, as far as when you crying, when you coming up as a man and you crying, they punch you. Shut up. Men don't cry. Boys don't cry. You know, like you know, they do that. So now I'm about to help the women right now. So now all your life you coming up, like my wife. Let me tell you what my mama told me, being that my father was an A. So I always tell everybody, a woman can raise a man, but it take a man to really, really raise a man. And the reason why I'm saying this, man, my mama, she used to beat me, and she used to be so hard. And I asked my mama one day, I said, Mom, you know, when me and my sister were coming up, you used to beat me, and you would tell me, you know, like, shut up, soak it in, don't say nothing, don't cry. You ain't supposed to cry. And I asked her, and she said, you know why I did that? She said, because I know it wasn't no man in your life. And she said, I wasn't going to raise no punk. So I respect her for that. Because look at the man I'm in now. I made mistakes, but I'm good. Now, the reason why I say this, so now when you get a wife, and being that you done been raised, and all your life coming up, you being beat, you being hit, like for as any man, you being, I don't know what's going on, you being beat, you being hit, and now you saying, suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Men don't cry, boys don't cry. So now I get a wife, and my wife tell me this a lot. What is it, the word? She's like, you have no something on the inside of you, like she's like, babe, look at this right here. Babe, look at. I'm like, yeah.
No empathy.
You see what I'm saying? Like it ain't that I'm excited, I'm happy, but it's like that done been shaped and placed on the inside of me. I'm a man. I'm tough. I'm hard. And that's why a man don't really cry out, because you got to break that shell for him to cry. Go ahead, y'all can touch on that.
Yeah, that's where a lot of my anger came from, because a lot of what I went through, you know, even when you try to tell somebody, it was either my fault because I was the oldest out of 6 kids, or, you know, they would be like, oh, go fight them back, go punch them, you don't cry, you don't do this, you don't do that. And that's where a lot of my anger came from, and I never had that pressure relief valve. So, you know, as I got older, it was just, how you get it out is anger. You fight, you go do this, you go do that. And instead of, oh no, you go pray about it, oh no, you go apologize, oh no, you go, you know, speak your mind. So, yeah, that hurt a lot of people. It hurt me. You know, in the city, it's crazy. Like, you can't really, people don't really show emotion at all, really. Like, especially in the north, it's like, you try to speak to somebody on the street, they got headphones in, and, you know, you try to interrupt their day, everybody's in a rush. It's all go, 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 go. I gotta get this money, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. That if you interrupt them, now they trying to fight you, and you was just trying to say hi.
But now you understand for us, that's why we had to break that foundation that the world gave us. Because that's why when you see, you ever came to church, and we're going to deal with the stress part, but since we're here, I don't understand, like, what we was created to cry out. We were created to make a sound. He said life and death is in the power of the tongue, but you'll get to the church. I mean, we all cry out. In your mind, you a man, you going to cry. If you stay here, you going to cry out. I'm going to tell you that right now. But what I come to understand is that when you see a man come to church, I was that man. You'll go to church, you'll see the women, man. It's something about a woman love for God. Man, they laid out, crying, slob coming out of my mouth. I'm like, Jesus. And you know, you go to church, you be like, the man in there. Like, you just looking around, but after you continue to visit the church and you begin to get God, you have a little cry. You're like, oh, did I do that? And then you start roaring, and then you all over the place, oh, God. But God, that's a different foundation. And you don't care who look at you, because you understand that this is what I was designed to do. This is my help. This is my spirit man strength. But a lot of men don't cry out. They feel like you know, that's like another stress reliever. I'm releasing. I'm giving it back to the Father. But if I don't cry out, I don't release, guess what? All that stuff bound on the inside of me. When a wife says something, you explode. Then somebody on the job says, you explode. Because you don't know how to release. You don't know how to cry out. So, and another thing men do well too. Like, you ever been in a place, I'm going to use me for example. I love using me. Like, 16 on up, always had money. 18, 19, 20, 21, I always had money. But you know, God will break you. And when God gave me a family, and I couldn't get that money that I was used to getting, I never prayed to God for money. I put that on everything I love. Damn, I ain't had to. But then when he put me in that place where he said, you gonna walk on this foundation and do it right now? Man, you go into a job, and you done went and worked 40, and you already know you ain't getting that much, but in your head, like, I'm doing it the right way. Man, I went on this job working 40 hours a week. I was so excited, I'm doing it the right way, taking care of my family. Yeah, getting up excited. Man, I was in the break room. I opened that envelope up and saw $500. I said, boy, I had a cell phone booth making $20,000 a month. I would have other money doing other things. And I called my wife and cried. And my wife, boy, not like a God woman. Man, I cried. I said, baby, gonna be okay. I mean, man, you don't understand. I mean, that's what you gonna do it. Everybody in the break room looking at me. Oh, man, you the true story. I'm crying in front of everybody in the break. I can't live up with that. What we gonna do with this? Man, that 500 went to 300. And you got to appreciate what you got, because if you don't appreciate it, guess what? God, he'll demote you. Man, when you got a family, you will do anything you want to do. I'm sorry, stress is real. I remember he took that from me. Well, I quit. I ain't going to say, I ain't doing this no more. Ain't no way. I did it about 3 months, but I was like, fine, nah, I can't do that. I'm worth more than that. This is my mentality. Man, I remember, man, it got so bad, man, I had to go get a job. Making $6-7, man. Magnets coming out the stuff. But I got a family. That's stressful. Yo, man, right around in a car. Imagine you just had a newborn. I had another newborn baby, Keyshawn. Man, we in the car, man, it rained. You know how you got them cars when it rain? Man, that thing get foggy and hot. Man,
Going through it now.
It what?
I'm going through it now.
Boy, in that stress, man, I had and keep in mind now, I'm just getting there. I ain't even got on nowhere. I'm cracking the Bible. Man, I look back, my son was sweating. I was like, no way, no way I'm going. Well, I saw so many devils. I said, nah, I can't go do this right here. I can go do it, but my kids ain't. Man, that devil starts speaking. Well, you know you can make a quick 50,000. You know what you used to do. You can do that in a day. Go set that up. Man, he was speaking. I told I ain't told her then. I told her later, because that was my transition. I got on the I call. I don't know if at the time I got on the I got on the interstate, because going back, because you know where I'm from, everybody know you used to do what you do. So I got on the interstate and God turned me around. I don't know if that was the time. I think, no, that wasn't the time. I got on the interstate the first time to go do what I had need to do. But then God turned me around. But when I saw Keyshawn sweating, that's when I really went. But how many of you know that when God say you for him and you belong to him, he'll keep you. And the fact that when I got there, they wasn't there. They ain't got there yet. And God still had more time to speak to me. Then when I left and got on the I, it probably not with 15 minutes. I could have turned around. I got on the I, he called me, they here. And God said, you can't turn around. And I put this right here. You know how an addict had to have been relieved or something? I believe he allowed me to go through that to make sure that I can detox from that so I would never go back to that. So from that day, 20 years now, Keyshawn, 17, 18, about 20 years, 19, 17, 18, 18 years now, I ain't never had the desire to ever do that. 18 whole years. But stress is a killer. Stress make men do things that they don't supposed to do. I done seen men that had stress, and because they didn't know their identity, they beat on their wives. I'm like, no, you don't do that. Because they want to feel like a man. Because they're trying to find something to relieve the stress they're going through. But I'm talking too much. Help somebody about the stress. Help another man.
I just tell you like my story. I remember when I was young and I used to go through stress. I didn't grow up with my dad at all. I didn't even know him until I was in my 20s. So, you know, I used to get picked on a lot. After I got picked on, you know, I was like, you know what, when I get older, I'm gonna beat everybody up. And that was literally my train of thought, you know what I'm saying? I promise you, I think I had a book that I was like, yeah, all these people, they're gonna see me and, you know, I'm gonna make them respect me. And so, and literally, like I'm little now, but I mean, I had 18-inch arms. And so I used to work out, and people would walk past me, like, all right, big man. I'm like, I'm little, you know. That was my train of thought. And then I remember I was on a job, and you know, somebody made me upset. I punched a hole through the wall on the job, and lost the job. I was making more than anybody on the job, and I lost the job. And it was like, and you know, it was just because of that stressful moment, and I never really knew how to deal with it. And so, and just to be, you know, 100% transparent, you know, not knowing how to deal with stress actually got me sent to jail. Because, you know, it was almost, if you can imagine a gun. You can load a clip so much, and then eventually that clip's gonna be full. You know, you can always pull back, you know, on the slide, and you can load that magazine, you can get one in the chamber. And you never know if your time was gonna be that one where, you know, hey, it's come time for me to release. And so I would take so much. And like a lot of the brothers here, you know, when they see me, they're like, you know, hey man, you always happy. But the thing is, that's the reason why I'm always happy, because I was at that point, you know, where I had to realize that, you know what, happiness, I gotta actually show everybody else. Because I don't know what your day's like. You don't know what my day's like. If I can't actually show you and speak a good word, you know, sometimes you don't realize that one good word that you may say to somebody may actually change their whole trajectory on what they might have been going through. And they may be like, you know what, I can make it through today just because of you. And so, you know, when we all dealing with stress, you know, everybody deals with it differently. And, you know, some people drink. You know, hey, I've been there before. I used to drink too. If I drank too much, guess what? It was gonna be, don't make me upset. And you know, it was good. And so it actually had to come down to, you know, it got to the point where God was like, yo, I'm gonna sit you down from everything. And it wasn't until God set me down from everything. And it was, I ain't gonna say I was calling on God, because I definitely wasn't. But God was like, yo, I'm calling on you. So God was just like, okay, I'm gonna sit you down, I'm gonna put you over here by yourself for a minute. I hated that. And the bad thing was, I was in jail, got in trouble in jail because I didn't learn. And so I was locked up by myself for 23 hours. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. 23 hours. They like, you want to go to rec? I'm like, no, I don't want that hour out there. And then so the only thing I was allowed to do was, because I had you had one book. You could either, you could have whatever your religion was. It's like, well, bring me a Bible then. And I said it with a nasty attitude to the guard, you know, and that's when God really started working right there, when I was like, I think God was just like, got you. And so at that moment, you know, it was just like, okay, I started reading the Bible. I'm not going to say it changed overnight. I wish it was that easy, but it wasn't that easy at all. And so it was just that moment when I'm reading everybody's story, and I realized that, you know, God was like, yo, okay, these people in the Bible was messed up way more than I was. And I'm like,
Right.
and so I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, yo, but I didn't even do all this. You know, they out here, they was out here wilding. I'm just sitting here like, yo, you know, but I'm just, you know, when you're reading it, you know, that's like, okay, cool. And so, you know, that's when I was just like, okay, I gotta try to get it together, because, you know, I had kids, you know, I was married, everything. So, you know, I was trying to get myself together, not realizing I left God completely still out the picture. I'm like, I'm just gonna fix me. And so, and it came to the point that where it was just like, hey, you know, I had got divorced, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm by myself, and I'm just, you know, I'm going through life. I'm just going, you know, to and from, doing whatever. And then it was when I met my wife now. We've been friends for, this will be going on 18 years now. And so when I met her, she was just somebody different. And it was just, and we'd known each other forever. And, you know, she was the only person that was really, you know, that I would really let, like, in my corner. And that was who God used. And she'll tell you the story to this day. Like, you know, when she saw me, you know, God spoke to her and said, that's your husband. And in my mind, I was like, I didn't tell you all that, you know, because, you know, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she had a boyfriend. So it was just, you know, it was just, you know, it was, I guess it was just crazy how it went. And so, but the biggest thing was, she was really the only person that could really actually make me understand, like, hey, you got to chill out, you got to relax. Like, it don't matter who made me upset, who was the person, you know, that was a target. She was really the one that was just like, you know what, hey, look at me, focus. And that would actually, like, bring me down. And so, you know, and it wasn't now, like now, it's very hard to make me upset now. So if anything, I'm probably gonna, you know, I can just shrug it off. And if you do make me upset, I just go talk to my wife, and, you know, it'd be like, hey, you believe this person right here? You know, I'm trying to shine all this light over here, and they over here, you know, just being all negative and stuff. And, you know, some people think it's, you know, they think it's like, oh, that's got to be fake, but it's not. It's really, you have to know the whole story, because once you know the whole story, then you get the reason why that, hey, it's not a place I can't go to that I don't want to make you feel like you're actually somebody, because at one point, I mean, I think we all could probably say we felt like we wasn't nobody. And, you know, all it takes is one person. And I just want to be that one person. If I can be that one person, that may make somebody be like, hey, you know, life is still worth living. You know, no matter how low you've been, at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. As long as you're searching for God and you know who you belong to, everything else is simple.
Yes, Lord. You said something powerful there, and as you were speaking, the Holy Spirit began to download on the inside of me, and this is what the Holy Spirit began to tell me. He said that there's a man watching right now, and he said the same thing when he was talking about the alcohol. So you try to relieve your stress through the alcohol, and after you get finished, you feel good for a minute, but then after you get finished, the troubles are still there. And God said, you've been doing this for a while now. But he said, if you can just give yourself me, he said, I will relieve you from the stress that you've been going through. He said, all you got to do is try me. I'll take the taste out your mouth. I'll take the appetite away from you. He said, just try me. And he said, watch how I shift your household. Watch how I change the foundation your house is on. You think you want respect, you're going to get that. And how I pay the bills. He said, just try me. Who next on this stress?
I want to say, like Chris said, you know, our story was a little different. It took a minute for me to see that we actually did, you know, have everything that we needed to have, but we grew up with both of the parents in the house. But I still felt like, you know, I didn't have, like he said, what everybody else had. It was stuff, I didn't see what I had, I saw what I wanted. Like, my cousins or my friends of the family, whatever, I go to their house, they got the snacks and the games. I got a Sega. I'm like 14, I got a Sega. And,
You want the snacks?
Yo, he ain't had no snack. Yo, anyway. Yeah, I was just telling another brother in the church, like I felt like, you know, we didn't have what I wanted. So I felt like I had to go get it. I was the oldest. So when I didn't want to be around because my mom would say, you see what he doing, you see what they doing. I got 3 siblings. You see what the girls is doing, you see what Chris doing. They watching you. Okay, well then I'm gonna remove myself. And I didn't even know. I had to be told by the apostles when I came here. Something happened, and they like, well, it's decency and order and da-da-da. And I'm like, you gotta let people know when you do something. I'm like, nah, that's not how I move. Like, nah, I don't let nobody know how I move when I'm moving somewhere. What you mean? I ain't even do that. My mom used to tell me, do that, da-da-da. I'm not rebellious, that's just how that's rebellion. They had to tell me, like, right there, like, that's rebellion. Like, you don't even, you know, the stuff that we go through, we don't know causes bigger problems. Like, we talk about the man in the house and a leader. A leader, every time I hear a man in the house, now that we keep saying it, I just keep hearing strong man. Strong man. And, you know, that's anyway, so growing up like this, I made different types of decisions or whatever. And I turned to I started selling weed. And every time I went through a stressful situation, I did the same thing every single time. And it's crazy because all these questions kind of like really go together. What is your foundation? If your foundation to me, what's your foundation? What you lean on. So when you go, like I said just now, every time something happened, I went and did the same thing. I went to Facebook, said the same little thing. I remember, because I did it every time. Said the same little thing, played the same song a couple times, bought a couple bottles, bought some bags, and whatever the night was, that's what the night was. It wasn't never nothing good. That's what I leaned on. That's what I fell on. Every time everything fell through, that's what I landed on. And that was my foundation. And every time I hit that foundation, it broke. It wasn't no strong foundation. And I kept breaking the foundation, falling and breaking the foundation until it wasn't no more foundation to break. I had to learn from my wife. My wife had to teach me. I thought I was the man of the house. I was the man of the house. I was the strong man in the house. And it got to a point she was telling me stuff, change stuff and da-da-da, but she would tell me, you know, if you tell me what you think I should change or tell me whatever. And I'm like, nah. I was like fresh back into God. So I'm like, nah, you probably telling me stuff that I need to change. You probably right. But then after a while, I'm like, I thought I was saying something, thought I was doing something. I'm like, nah, I'm the man of the house. You supposed to be submitting to me. You the wife. You the wife. She said, but I don't see you praying. Oh. I don't see you praying. I was not praying. I was just back into the church. I was trying to bounce. I was trying to, like everybody said, make money. I moved down here and I wasn't trying to sell weed no more. And God, I told that to God, and the devil knew that as well. And I met I be comfortable with like gangster dudes or like killer dudes. And a lot of them, I would get cool with them and they like, bro, you mad cool, this and that. Yo, you know what's up, you need an ounce. Every time, like 4 different people like, yo, you need an ounce, you don't even gotta buy it, bro. You cool, bro, I understand what you're going through, this and that. I will give it to you, bro, this and I'm like, anyway, so it's like, when your foundation, I started changing my foundation. I made that decision before I came down here. I didn't want to sell no weed down here. I don't know what's going on down here, this and that. But as soon as I got in a situation, every time I told somebody what was going on or whatever, they like, yo, basically the devil like, you know what you used to do is right here for free if you want it. If you want it, it's for free, right here. And God blessed me to be able to come back to church, get married. I told God I wasn't getting married. He told me I was getting married. I got married, and my foundation really, I had to change my foundation. I kept, even when I got married, like I said, we hit a financial problem because, God that was one of my things. I'm gonna keep money. Whatever I want to do, I'm gonna be able to do it. Whenever I want to do it, I'm not gonna wait on nobody. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And took all my bread, took all my ideas, everything that I thought I was about to do coming down here, and it really took my wife to tell me like, God trying to get you to love, like same thing that they saying. You full of anger, like you so mad. Somebody cut me off, I'm doing all this crazy stuff. She like, stop flicking the lights. She done told the pastor on me, he holding the horn from this corner to this corner. And I'm like, this how I grew up. Like, what you want to do? If you want to get out, we could pull over. You got something in the car, we could do that too. Whatever you want to do, we could go wherever you want to go. And she like, nah, this not how, you're a man of God. Like, even we went to one of the bulk stores, and this dude was on their heels, and I'm like, yo, Chris, watch out, bro, because he's not gonna say excuse me. And I didn't think that was too rough. I'm thinking like, bro, the right thing to do is say excuse me if you're trying to get past. But she like, yo, you're a man of God. Like, this is not how you represent God. This is da-da-da-da. So just all these. And then finally, to deal with the stress, we just gotta love. We gotta really find out what love is, or really figure out what love is. Like y'all said, we was taught all the time, stone, be hard. Ain't no crying, ain't no whining, ain't no telling, ain't no nothing evoking emotion, none of that. So when we figure out what love is, you smile at your brother, you hug your brother, you tell him I love you. We start breaking down these walls, these I'ma grill you, I'ma treat you this way. I can't treat you a certain way if I love you, So
that was good, man. So I'm gonna ask one more question, but before I go to that question, this will be another question before I get to the last question. So this question would be as far as, okay, we still dealing with stress, but before I move to the next one, I want to ask one more question about this. So how would someone, as far as a man, how would a woman understand far as, or how to handle a man when he up under that type of stress? Like, what can she do to understand what he is going through?
Honestly, the biggest thing would just be express it. You really have to sit down with your wife and really just sit down, talk to her, go to God together, and
Okay, but what if the man ain't sat down with her? You got them men in the world, they don't even know what they're battling with. They don't even know what they're going through. Anybody can go. We get you after Chris then.
I'm sorry. One thing Apostle Kadisha told me was when she was dealing with you while you were...
Really?
No, it was an example. It was an example.
Really?
You asked the question.
I'm going to tell my story.
It's your question.
How you gonna tell my story?
It's your
Oh, I
question.
gotta find out y'all two be talking about. Okay. Well, go ahead, tell the story. Go ahead.
She was saying how a woman can only say so much. They can keep telling you, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this, until it becomes added stress. At a certain point, they have to take their hands off of it and give it to God. You know, this is the husband that you gave me. Then you got to fix him. You know, you got to do it because he's not listening to me. So,
Well, she teaching you good.
My wife told me that too.
But that's real though. You know, like at the end of the day, you know, like even though they're trying to help and they trying to like help us come out of what we in, but at the same time, if our state of mind ain't right, we looking at it as nagging or you getting on my nerves or you keep the same thing. Why you keep saying bringing out God? I don't want to hear God. You know what I'm saying? Like when you had a player, Jermaine looked like, boy, you know you've been in that world. Oh, I saw how you look at me. Like, you got God now. I know I'm just messing with you. But you know when you, like a man who in the world and he don't understand God and he understand that's really everything you need. And like for as a woman already know because she already got that relationship, so the man ain't got the relationship. So when you bring out God, you're like, dog, I'm getting tired of hearing that. Like I remember, I used to be when me and my wife been in a relationship. When I tell you when she flipped on me, when everything was like transition, like she didn't give me a warning sign. Like it just stopped, and like our conversation was other conversation. Now every conversation we got God. I used to like, hold a minute now. Why you always talking about God? I was like, babe, I love God, but everything we talk about, we gotta talk about God. I mean, like every word, God. I'm gonna like when I couldn't provide, like you know, like my foundation was I ain't had the foundation I needed, so I couldn't provide it, and everything. Big God gonna fix it. Big God gonna do it. God got this. And, I mean, when you like God. Like everything was God. Like we can hold a real conversation. We like look at him, God. Like babe, I had to tell her, babe. You know I love God, but I don't believe we have to talk about God and everything that we do. You know I was calmly about it, but then I came to the place, because now that's a trick from the enemy. And what the enemy do, he knows if he can get you stressed, he can get you bound. He got the mind now. And if he got the mind, he got everything else. And I remember it was a time, man, and only thing he got me in with finances. He killed me with that because I never had to deal with it. And when it come to a place when a bill was due, now it wasn't make enough money to pay the bill. And she like, I remember the first time I had a light bill due and I couldn't pay it. We had just moved to Florence. And I'm thinking about you young and we didn't, I don't know if we just moved or it was late on. But I remember the light bill was only like maybe $200 and $300. And you know, huh? Oh, I wish I could get a $200 light bill now. But to make a long story short, you know, when you come out of the world, man got a lot of pride. And I learned that I had a lot of pride on the inside of me, and pride caused stress. And the Bible said that after pride come a what? A great what? So after pride come a great fall. So I didn't know I was operating from pride. And I remember, you know, I did certain things, and my wife used to get the Bible and tell me this. I remember one time, man, I was so lost, man, I'll be honest, because I like, man, I made this. I ain't got enough. And you talking about pay tithes. I don't know, like, well, do what? Pay what? And you want these lights on? I'm trying to tell you, man, it was bad. And you know, at the time, I'm looking like, I ain't got enough, and she like paid tithes, and I'm like, nah, that don't add up. I give that, and I got less. I'm less from the goal to pay the bill. So I came from a place I never go to another man and ask another man for any. No, I'm not about to go like, man, you got $100 I can borrow? No, I ain't never been in that position. But I understand, see, what God had to do, he had to break me from the taste of money. Because, see, I didn't know that God was going to put me here in this position. And when you're in this position, you can't have a love for money. So God said, you know what? You never had to struggle through that, but you got to struggle through that because Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans that I have for you. So I didn't know his plans. I knew my plans, and I understood where I want to go. But to make a long story short, so I remember the first time I got in that situation, and I said, I need this. You know, my wife sit there and hold me. I was sitting there crying like a baby. I got kids in the house. Like, how am I going to pay this? And I had a rule. My thing was, I had to live by them Bible principles. The woman take care of the house and the man go out and provide. I didn't ask my, babe, can you call your mama or can you call Harpo and pay this bill? Nah, I'm the man. That never was on the inside of me about you calling somebody. So I laid in my wife's lap and cried. I might be crying about a good 30, 40 minutes. She allowed me to cry that time. Because at that time, she was like, you ain't about to do that. But I actually cried and she rubbed me and said, baby, it's going to be okay. God's going to do it. Man, come to find out the next day, well, I let the pride go. I called and I asked my cousin, I called my brother for the money. He give me anything, and I called and I asked him, and he said, oh, you got to worry about that. It's day. Matter of fact, it was the next day. It was the next day I had needed because they were going to cut it off. You know, I think they give you that cut off 5 o'clock or when they come around and cut it off. I finally let the pride go. And I called him an hour or two before it was about to get cut off. And he was like, man, it's already day. He went straight in and did it. So to make a long story short, I'm saying God already understood what he was taking me through. He understood he was breaking me. He understood that sometimes it takes stress to break us. But being that I wasn't in my word, I didn't understand that. But if I was in my word, I understand, God, all things that work together, they working together for my good. So if I would understand that this is for my good, this is something that's killing the flesh on the inside of me. And I didn't understand that until now. Well, not now, you know, when I got into God the way I was supposed to get in God. But to make a long story short, all that she was saying, and she was praying, and the lights never got cut off. I was stressing for nothing. The Bible tells us, see, I didn't know the Bible tells us that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. But not only did I find a good thing, he obtains what? Favor with the Lord. So I had, not only did I already have favor, he gave me double favor by marrying her. So you think he gonna allow his favor to be in the house with the lights off? No, that's not God. Now if I was in my rightful place, now them lights would have, hey, it got cut off. But to make a long story short, I remember with stress, man. I ain't never was a drinker. I ain't had never like that stuff. Man, I just thought beer tasted like pee. I'm like, ugh, that's nasty. But when you going through stress and you ever had them headaches like this bulging through your head, man, you find anything to relieve that thing. Man, I remember, I should go to the store. They think I'm in the, man, I remember I sit in the garage, man, if I'm drinking me, I didn't drink a little can. I got about that, I'm all tipsy. I'm like over just a little bit. And then I what am I going to pour it out, go throw it in the trash can. Because I understood my wife. I had respect my wife so much, but I just wouldn't read the word how I was supposed to. I wouldn't feel the spirit, just belts up with the word. So I did things I saw the world do. And they couldn't find out, man, I was like, man, I can't do that no more. That is just nasty right there. I couldn't. That wasn't me. So how I relieve my stress, oh no, I can't talk about that yet, that's the last one. But what I'm trying to say is, a woman got to understand that when a man going through, and you've been talking to the man, and he ain't changing, you got to get that thing to God. And once you get to God, he'll change things. He'll change that man's foundation. Because I remember, man, that thing had scared me. Like, my wife wasn't saying that to me no more, really. I'm like, babe, you ain't, like, no, you do what you want to do. Not with drinking or anything. I'm talking about, like, as far as handling bills and different things like that, because I never was a drinker. But handling bills, she wouldn't even come to me, paying tithe. Now, she did this now. That joker went and stopped paying, got the money at the counter, and then I like, babe, you took, yep, I sure did. I paid them tithes. I was like, what? Man, but you know what she did though? And that's what I love about it. She went in the Bible and she gave me the scripture. And you know the scripture where it say that for us, that if a man will rob God, she gave me that. And I ain't had really care about that part, but when that thing got to the part where you curse with a curse, and not only is you curse, your nation curse, man, I just said, so you try, so I said, so you trying to say, you calling me curse? I said, what you trying to say? Why you, how I said that thing? I said, how you gonna curse me and you? You proud of me. I should get mad when she should say that. And like, she had knew what to hear, like you just cursing us. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then, you know, man, when you don't pay it, then I saw tire went on the truck flat. Then you got to go pay that. Then this happened. Then that happened. Then a bill come and take the money out of the car. Like, oh, my God. So I see, you got to do what we got to do. But that's the only thing that had me stressed was finances. Anything else, Jesus don't bring nothing else. But that was the only thing. You Mr. Robert?
I can relate to that. Just recently, it was a small bill that came up, and really didn't have the money for it. And we was gonna get on Zoom, and Wi-Fi got cut off. And I'm like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? So I started thinking, I'm like, well, God, you put people in my life, you know, to help me in a time of need. And I'm like you, I rarely ask anyone for assistance because I'm that man. But at the same time, God had to break me down and say, hey, this is very important, just not for you, for me and you, to reach out to someone. And at that time, I mean, I was thinking, I was calling, and it was just that one person I thought about. And like I say, it was like 30 minutes before we go on the Zoom. And I was like, wow. You know, he was like, hey, no problem, bro. Because if I got it, you got it. Because I treat people the same way I want to be treated. I always walk that fine line to where, you know, don't judge people, don't mistreat people, because you don't never know who you mistreating and judging to where you got to come back to that bridge that you just burned.
Yes, Lord.
You know, so I was just grateful, and my wife tell me all the time, hey, give it to God. I'm like, no, I got to pay this. I got to do this. I got to pay our tithes. We got to do this, you know. And she like, no. Calm down. God got us. And I'm like, okay, babe. And when you were just sitting up there saying that, it just really took me to that point right there that I would like to say that, you know, as humans, that's what we want to do. We don't want to take our hand off that wheel. We want to control things. We want to make things happen for us, being patient. But at the same time, we got to learn. You know, we got to give it to God. There's no other way. You got to have faith. You got to believe and trust.
Come on.
Because he always said, if you ask me, you walk that fine line with me, you shall receive.
Wow. So we're gonna go ahead and get to this last question. Man. And the last question is, this is gonna be good. So we think about it, we don't talk about we talk about stress, we talk about leading, we talk about all of that today. So my next question would be, let's say if you got a man that's not where we at right now, but they're the man that you used to be before you came to this point. So the question is, what does restoration look like for a man desiring to function within his true identity? What does restoration look like for a man desiring to function with his true identity? We're at the bottom of the half. We're about to help somebody recover right here. DeAndre.
For somebody that might be in our situation, you know, as far as our past life, I think restoration is when you surrender to God, like you give your life to Christ according to Romans 10:9. You know, you have to, you know, basically believe in him and believe that he died on the cross and that he rose on the third day for the remission of your sins. So the first thing to do is repent. you know. And then when it comes to setting the right foundation, you gotta get into the word, because the Bible says that how can a young man clean his way? By the washing of the word of God. So it's like you can't have a solid foundation until you start washing yourself in the word of God. And as you wash yourself in the word of God, the foundation is set, because he said everything on the earth will pass away. The heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will stand forever. So if you ain't got the word of God as your foundation, then it's not gonna last. Like, it's gonna pass away. That's the only thing that's gonna stand for eternity. So like, that's my concept of being able to, you know, take on a new life and trying to change, and basically giving your life to Christ and just standing on the word of God.
But you know, you say, matter of fact, I ain't gonna say that. Who else want to tackle that?
Hey man, it's crazy. The last 2 years, 2018, God opened the door for me to come up to Columbia, and I've been here a year, but things have gotten rough, and God was doing a real transition with me. Like back where I live, you know, I'm known as a well-known artist, so when things got rough, it was easy for me to run back home to everyone knows my name, and you know, but at the same time, it's where I shouldn't go back, because now that which you built becomes a prison now, you know? Wow. It became a prison. Now, it once was good for you. It protected me at the time, but when God was ready to make the transition, I wasn't supposed to go back. So it ended up feeling like a spiritual prison then, you know? Now, it wasn't shown outwardly, you know, I was still able to perform and do the work, but my spirit was starving. I know I should be back here. I know I shouldn't have come back. You know, and many times before I came back, but, you know, at the same time, God always wanted me to go forward. It was so easy to go back to what you're known for. Everybody knows your name. Everybody loves you. And on top of that, that's where it's a thin line between, you know, you're doing something, you're doing what's in your heart, you're using your gift, and a lot of people would be like, God is pleased with that. But at the same time, I really had to let that go to really walk in the path God wants me to walk in. So it was hard throughout the years trying to identify that thin line for everyone. God doesn't mind you using your gift, but he was calling me to a higher calling or a higher purpose of it for years. So that thing became a snare. So while I was there, back home working and everything, and God was still giving me encouraging words, all right, I'm gonna open this door again, okay? Don't go back, don't return, you know? So not only God was speaking that, he finished breaking off everything that needed to be broken. And when he opened the door for me to go, he also, you know, blessed me with a gift to go. But I want to say, as soon as the pandemic happened, I was at my mom's. I went and got a room for like 5 days just to pray and meditate, like, God, what is going on? And I was hearing messages. I turned the TV on, watching the gospel, and the guy was just pointing, God wants you to launch out into the deep. You know, you got to go. You can't stay in the shallow water. So everything was messaging, and I had a dream that night that I got a U-Haul truck. In a U-Haul truck, I came back to Columbia. It's like me knowing that I wasted time. You know, I just jumped out of the van, just stood over the hill, and I could see the whole city of Columbia. I'm like, okay, God, I'm back. I'm sorry I wasted time. Thank you for allowing me to come back. And then, you know, after I affirmed that, it was I look over to the left, and it was a lady praying back and forth, praying. Like she knew I was supposed to be there, but I had no idea who it was. So she turned to me and saw that I arrived. She started applauding and praising God. So, but that still was 8 months out, you know. God kept on giving me signs, and when God allowed me to come back, so that was a sign of restoration for me. You know, not only coming back here, new beginnings. You know, I just heard about it a few times, came, and I just knew this is where I need to be.
Come on.
So God restored me from a lot of things. Even now, I have the temptation, or not temptation, but people are still at home calling for work, you know. Now, I might have to use more wisdom as far as mailing and shipping, but a couple times I went back, you know, to do work, to get paid, but then God even starting to shut things down. I'll get there and people will change their mind, and I'm wasting gas coming back and forth. So now the restoration is, you know, this is where it belongs, and I just totally surrender everything to God, everything now. I just thank God for new beginning. Thank God for the brethren. Thank God for my sister who supports me, my brother-in-law. I'm just a new creature now. Glory to
Come
God.
on.
Just to kind of, go off of, what the brothers in Christ were stating, I believe, restoration is getting life back. The weight of everything that you've been worrying about, the burdens are lifted off of you. Because you can worry all day long, that's not going to add years to your life whatsoever. So in order to, be restored, you have to first give it to God. So when you said surrender all, brother, you do have to surrender it all completely, wholeheartedly, to be able, and you have to pray and ask God to restore you. And God will restore you. Perfect example, as God started changing me, changing the things that I've been doing, a lot of friends that I used to hang out in the street with, they kind of say, oh no, man, he gonna talk about the word of God, man. They start to fall back because they can see the God in you. And if they don't want to change, they ain't gonna want to be around you. They're gonna push themselves away. But you know what? I was like, dang, man, I don't have no friends. Like, I don't have no brothers in Christ. And look at this. I got men of God. God done restored. I got revelation just off of that. God done restored and gave me all these men in Christ that now are my brothers. That on the same path. We're all on the same path, and we're all in one spirit, the spirit of God, the spirit of truth. So I just wanted to state it that my opinion, I truly believe restoration is getting life again, and that's not only naturally, but spiritually as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of Vic, but that's definitely something that I noticed when you feel restoration, like you realize like even the same people that you used to hang around, like you not even like them no more, and it's kind of like when if I see you guys, I mean y'all are my family. And some of y'all probably heard me say, hey, I can't wait to see you at the next family reunion. That's Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever. But when you get that complete restoration, it feels different. But as you're a kid, you think when you was a kid, you always got to teach your kid to do right. No parent ever really taught their kid, oh, go touch the stove. That would you had to tell them, no, don't do that. And so as you get older, you got a conscience, and your conscience be like, nah, that's not right. And so you kind of, at first the devil's going to tempt you with every single thing, when you done made that change. And so you constantly going to feel that pulling because the spirits come back with 7 other spirits just as evil as, the ones that you got rid of. So that always is something that you can't play around with. So when you actually get that restoration, like right from wrong at that point, because it is I can't even do that. That it's something that it don't even feel right, for you to, and if you do it, the spirit will convict you so bad that it'll be like, yo, I can't even believe it'll almost make you feel like a death. And so, that to me, that's a restoration where you're just like, yo, no, it's like once you've been changed, we got to even hang around each other because we build each other up. So, y'all my new crowd, of friends. And, I remember me and my wife saying, man, we ain't got no friends. And we got a whole, we got so many friends in here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we got friends that turn into family in here. So it's different, and when you feel it, like it's like you, I don't even know. It's not even a word to describe it because that's how good it feels. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even. It's whatever good feeling you can say. You can't even say it because that word don't exist once you get restored. Like it's just no other word for it.
Wow. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I need 2 men, 3 men or 2 men. I need you to tell me because we coming to an end. How can you help a brother? How can I put this? Recover from the foundation he is on to allow him to come to this foundation for us, what steps he need to take for us if he got a rolly foundation and he trying to find this foundation? Like, what steps does he need to take?
Well, I would tell them what God used you to tell me when I first visited last August. You said, "How do you like your land, Abram?" And when I thought about Abram, I thought about what God told him when he told him to leave. But he gave him instructions. He told him to leave everything behind, leave his family, leave their traditions, to leave everything he thought he knew, and to go to a place that he would show him. So at that moment, you have to understand that everything I thought I knew, I don't know. So now I have to submit fully to God in order to learn everything that I need to know in order to get to the place that you're going to show me. So the first thing is submit to God 100%. Don't think that you know everything, because you don't know anything. No, the word tells us that God's wisdom is better than the world's wisdom. The world's wisdom is actually foolish. So we have to get to a point to where, okay, God, I'm submitting to you. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? How do you want me to move? I'm not going to do anything unless you tell me to. And don't think that it'll be a quick process, because it's not going to be a quick process. You know, once I knew that I was coming here, I thought it was going to be immediate. I immediately put my 2 weeks in. I was like, okay, I'm good. I got a job down there. And it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. And I got to a point to where I was a little upset. I was like, you know, God, this is what you told me to do. So what's going on? Like, why isn't it happening yet? Not realizing that the enemy was trying to stop me from getting here, but also God was trying to build me up. He was trying to build my faith up. So don't think it's going to be a quick process, because it's not. You know, everything doesn't happen suddenly.
Wow, that's good. So my question is, I'm going to repeat it. I know the same thing. Maybe somebody online need to hear it again. How can you help a man recover from a rolling foundation to this foundation that we're on, a godly foundation? Same thing, just reword it.
It will have to be prayer, like literally whatever you want to see, whatever you want to change, because it's going to be a breaking point. It's going to be a breaking point in your life where you just, like you said, you got tired. You felt like you was getting used. I got tired because I felt like I was dead. Like it's something. That point's going to come and you're going to realize, because that's God. That's your spirit man calling out to God. That's like the final call before the spirit man says, I'm leaving for good. And you have to be obedient to that. And the way I built mine was just through prayer. If I didn't know what to pray for, God, give me the words to pray for. God, make me a better husband. God, what should I do with this? Jesus shows us an example of everything we do, we should go off in prayer. And even when you get in Christ, sometimes, like I know I at points I haven't prayed like I should have. And God has taught me, even in the now, that prayer life is the foundation. That prayer life, when the bill, like we've been, like I have my whole family in the truck, like living hotel to hotel, door dashing the day before. I'm working a full-time job. Like that thing hit home. I was like, I was working at Amazon. I'm working a full-time job. My family doesn't have a roof over their head. A roof over their head. That hit home. And it wasn't no excuses, because I wasn't in position. And I built my prayer life. God, what am I going to do? What do I need to do? I mean, I remember one night, man, it was so bad because the hotels, they start the hotel at 3 o'clock. So if you check in the hotel before 3 o'clock, you still have to check out at 11 a.m. So we would get hotels at 12 a.m. and I still have to go to work. She still have to have the kids go to school. We had all this stuff, and I just kept praying. That's what I can tell anybody. Prayer. Anything you want to change. You tired of your life, you tired of what's going on, just try God. All you have to do. You ain't gotta get on your knees. Talk to God how you would talk to him. Like you would talk to your best friend. That is how you restore, because because in that process he's restoring and rebuilding your foundation for your new.
That's good. You know, they got it's like an old saying. It's, I think, called push, P-U-S-H, pray until something happens. So, and I believe, oh, you got something? Oh, everybody got it now. They don't want to go. But I'm going to get you, but I believe that's very vital, because you got to understand, each and every one of us got here through prayer. We got here, we came to a place where we allow God to strip us of everything that was withholding us from him, and we ain't had nothing else to do but cry out to him. So I come to tell you that's right here that, I mean, I know we look at stress as something bad, but the Bible tells us to renew our mind. It's saying in all that you get understanding. So if stress came, guess what? He brought that stress to turn me into the man that I am now. If he didn't allow you to go through what you went through, even though it sounds horrible and bad to the ear, you wouldn't have got the certain characteristics and the certain molding that he was trying to do with you. If he didn't allow you to go to prison, guess what? You probably wouldn't have never changed. You probably wouldn't even be here. You see what I'm saying? And that's another type of stress. So what I learned is that we got to be grateful, and we got to make sure that we consult God when things hit our life, and make sure that we get understanding from him. God, you allow me to go through this, so why is it that I'm going through this? Show me, God. I ain't asked you to allow the storm to be over. I ain't asked you to take it away from me, but allow me to go through so that I pass this test so I don't have to go through it again. But that's only come with having a relationship with God and having word on the inside of you to speak to the stone. And see, that's another thing with men. Being that I don't equip myself, I don't have no ammunition on the inside of me, I can't speak to a stone when a stone comes. I can't say, mountain, move. How it gonna move? I don't know that. I can't say I'm the head and not the tail. I can't say I'm the lender and not the borrower. How can I speak to my stone? I can't speak healing over me if I don't have it on the inside of me. And that's what causing our men in the world to perish, because they don't have no godly men. They don't have a foundation where they can go eat and get what they need. Only thing they got out in the world now is get money. Well, that's my vision. I'm making money for my family, but I believe God is holding each and every one of us on this stage tonight accountable for the men that he brings in our lives. I believe that if you're a man, you're on live right now, he holding you accountable for your family. He holding you accountable for the men in your area, in your neighborhood. Yeah, you got it. You came out, but you got to remember where you came from. You got to remember the demons that you used to battle with. You got to remember as far as the place you came from. Don't make it and get too high almighty. Oh, I made it now. It's all about me. And that's what happens. That's why you got a lot of people still trapped in the hood. Because after we come out the hood, well, I ain't gonna say I came out the hood, because I ain't never lived in the hood. I mean, you know, I done been to the hood. I played in the hood. I mean, I remember we lived in the projects, but that was for a short period of time. So I'm not gonna get up here and be fake, but I know what I did in life. So I know if he brought us from that, then we go back and we make sure that we give life. You know, let me tell you one thing I do, and I'm gonna get y'all too. Even though he allowed me to get it this way now, but I got it the wrong way before, them same neighborhoods that I messed up with the stuff that I was doing, you know, this is how you allow yourself to be humble. For a long time, as God began to bless me and how he take me up, I don't forget where I come from. I go right around in them same neighborhoods, them same hoods, and I give God, I thank you, God, for you allowing me not to live like this. I thank you, God, that you allow me to not be in poverty. I thank you, God, because you got to understand that with a man, we got to like visualize things. I can't just say, oh, I remember I should be. I know I need to ride back through there and remember, man, them guns right they've been shooting, you sold drugs here, you did this here, you did that here. And now you got to go back and restore and revital those places. And that's why I believe what God is doing right now with this cave, like even with the vision he gave us with Reach One, Teach One, even with the podcast coming, he gave us a vision, even with this right here inside the four walls. After all we do this inside the four walls, we get into a place where we're going to have to go out. We're going to have to go to the neighborhoods. We're going to have to go and grab them in. Like, for us, it's good to get up here and talk about it. But it's better when you take action and you get out there and you go amongst them and you help pull them out the gutter. You know what? I used to be there. I used to be that boy that sell dope. I used to be that man that sleep with women. I used to be all of these right here. See, I can't, and that's all I can help him with. But see, but he gave me a vision. Now he gave me a vision with other brothers. I don't know what it feels like to go to prison. He saved me from that. I probably couldn't handle prison. And with all that I did, like I tell y'all, I got people that I've been around that did the same thing. They did 30 years, 20 years, they're still in there. Some of them just coming home from 20 years. I couldn't do that. So I know my lane. I don't know how to sit down with a brother and say, I know what it feels like to be in prison. I can't sit down with that brother. I mean, I can give him the Bible, but from that, he ain't gonna feel nothing from me. And that's why God said, you know what? That's why he said, you know what? I need Peter, James, and John. And I need the other 9. Because I know there's certain things they can relate to that I can't relate to. Y'all, this is gonna be good. And I wanna, because I keep talking, I'm gonna close it after you speak, and who else, what it was? After you and Paul speak, I'm gonna close it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hit it from the back, then I'm gonna let you speak, then I'm gonna bounce back. Go ahead, Brother Paul.
I forgot the question. Could you say the question again?
I asked you, how can a man recover from the world to a godly foundation?
I would say, I like talking about myself, like I heard it. And when I came back to, I'll say back to church before I came back to God, I was in a little spot, whatever, and I thought, I didn't know what I thought I was doing, but I really wanted just to be heard. And I came and I talked to Apostle Sean, and I'm like, yeah, whatever was going on, I forgot. But I'm like, I told him the whole thing. I'm hurt like this and da-da-da. And he heard me the first time. And then I came back like a couple days later. Came back like a couple days later, or like a week later. And I'm like, yeah, man, I need to talk to you, man. You know, I'm hurting the same way, you know, and da-da-da. And, you know, I want to change, or however I said it. But he's like, man, you got to want it. And that's really what we got to do. We really got to want the change. It's easy to say, you know, oh, everything is going bad and this and that. But if you don't want to make the change, then you'll never make that change. So, like we was talking about how to help the men, the women, how to help the men. Like y'all said, don't try to force no man into doing that. If you got a hard-headed man, he's not going to listen to you. If you raise your voice, he's not going to listen to you. Men yell at men all the time. Some men talk in that tone, like yelling. So you think yelling at a man, it's not going to help. So when you have somebody telling you, hey man, you don't got to do this. Don't do this. That's wrong. The Bible say, you know, your mom say, grandma say, and all that. He like, man, I don't care. But when you say, hey man, you don't got to do this. Look, you could achieve the same thing if you do this over here. You don't even got to do that. You never have to do that again. Like, that's the wrong way. Think about how this affected all the people that you know did that. They in jail, they dead. You basically selling your soul to the, you know what's gonna happen. Everybody say the same thing. You either gonna end up in jail or dead. And either you're gonna die in jail or you're gonna be changed forever in jail. So you don't even go that way, man. Just come over here. You could be happy over here and still make the same money you was doing over here. You could be happy over here. You could experience love over here and never have to go down that road anymore. So you want it, and really love, man. Love. God is love, and if you love, you inviting God in, and you don't even know. You don't have to speak God all the time, but if you just, hey brother, how you doing? Instead of trying to do somebody dirty, trying to get over on somebody all the time. Want to change and love, and you will be changed.
Man,
what I'd say to whatever man that's watching, that's listening, my situation is I had to be alone. And when I was alone before God, I wasn't thinking about a prayer, but it was a prayer because what I was saying to God was, man, I'm tired of trying to figure it out. I just can't even figure it out. So here I am. Show me the other way then, because I'll give you my stubbornness, and I don't want to try and walk it the way I've been walking it, because I keep banging my head against the wall. I keep running into the same hole, and I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, it happens different for everyone. You know, I sat down in my crying out. You know, I had the job, working 2 jobs, you know, but I was living in my car behind a gas station. I had a bottle, I had a bag, and I was just crying. I couldn't even enjoy the bag or the bottle anymore because I was tired of trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. When you're tired of figuring it out, and say, just do it for me, because you know what, man, I can't even, I don't have no more energy to run and try and do it anymore. That'll give you that fresh breath. He'll blow that fresh breath in you and push everything else out. And it'll just be a harmonious type of transition. It's not a matter of you having to try to stay away from this, to try not to do this. You won't have a desire for it. You won't have a taste for it. You won't have a desire for it. You won't think on those things the way that you thought on them anymore. So I'll just say, hey, it's a matter of you really just getting by yourself and just saying, I don't want to try and figure it out no more. You do it.
Wow. But that's powerful though, because you got to think about it. In every move Jesus made, he went and got by himself and he prayed to the Father. And after he prayed to the Father, then he made his moves. But, you know, I will say this right here, as far as to help someone. And I think as far as what helped me was, I just came to a place I was tired. And the only thing I know was to do, well, actually, I think I actually cried out. Because you got to think about it, when you're in pain and you're going through, only thing you know to do is cry. Only thing you can know to do is say, Father, I surrender, I give it to you. Like, you just crying. I mean, like boo-boo crying, like, Daddy, I give to you. Daddy, you got to change this. And that's all I did. And I just cried and I cried. And eventually he said, you know what, you really want it this time. I'm going to allow you to have it now. But the key thing is you got to want it. So tonight, I believe that from this discussion that we had, that there was some very, some good nuggets out there, for a man that's been viewing, that's been watching, like you got to want it, man of God. You just got to want it. And if you want it, then guess what? God will give you everything you need. He'll help restore you. He'll revive you. He'll make sure that you get to the place that you need to be. He'll make sure that you walk in your Jeremiah 29:11. He'll make sure that the pain and the stress that you are feeling, he'll take that away from you. Because some pain and some stress that we put ourselves through is not part of our Jeremiah 29:11. That's added on stress, added on pain that we cause to add on. So tonight I'm just believing that this cave, it helps someone, that it revives someone, and that it allows someone to get on the right track and back on the right foundation. Because the foundation you want to be on is bedrock. You want to be on a foundation that is so strong that nothing can shake your foundation. No earthquake can move your foundation. You want to be rooted and grounded in God. So I'm believing tonight, if you take heed to what's been said, you start digging and get into their word and get a prayer life and a relationship with God. I'm not going to say that it'll happen overnight, but I promise you, if you stay consistent with it, that it'll change things in your life. And I promise you that I was going to do something when I got on a live a little early. Y'all know I don't really do lives, but I tried it. But I promise you I was going to do something. And so before we leave this point, I'm going to get Apostle, my wife, to help me out. Do y'all got like a Facebook page back there that y'all got up right now? So this is what I want to do. Y'all know we got that He and She Summit coming up. So right now, you know, for tuning in and for just being a part of this cave, the cave is going to sow a seed on tonight. I want to sow a seed of 5 men. If I got 5 men that's on this live, can you, wait, I think they tell you to wave your hand or something. Can you wave your hand, and I'm going to get the people from the media in the back to go ahead and write your name down, and we're going to call out all 5. Now, brothers, if you don't act quick, I got to give away these 5 seeds. So I give it to the women that's on live. So if I got 5 brothers on live, I just want to sow that seed tonight. That's one. You got your mic. Daniel Leach. Y'all need to write that down. Come on. We got 4 more we got to get. You got to be to the He and She Summit.
Dre Thomas.
Dre Thomas. I'm giving you the opportunity to come to the I'm Chosen, the He and She Conference. Something that's gonna, if you think the cave, Derek Steele Jr. on YouTube. We got Derek Steele Jr. on YouTube.
Brian Dickerson is on YouTube as well.
Brian Davis on YouTube as well. That's 4. We need 1 more. Jamie who? What he on? They say Jamie, you got to let them know how to spell it. Jimmy Lindsay. Did y'all see a Jimmy Lindsay? Jimmy Lindsay. Jimmy? Jamie. Oh, we got 1 more. Hey, Dre say he gonna pay. So we got 1 more. Well, who? So we got 5? Do you got a mic back there? Anybody y'all got a mic? Somebody go get them a mic. I want y'all to read out their names. They can hear us. We're on live. And I want you to tell them for us what they have to do to obtain for us this seed. And you got to follow these directions to get this.
Okay, so we have Daniel Leach. We have Derek Steele. We have Brian Dickerson. We have George Bowers III. There was another name that we had because Dre was giving his away. We needed to pick somebody else. We have George Bowers, but we still have 1 more.
Yeah,
Jamie
Lindsay. Yeah, Jamie Lindsay.
Okay, Jamie Lindsay. Okay, so now we have Daniel Leach, Jamie Lindsay, Derek Steele, Brian Dickerson, and George Bowers III. Congratulations to you.
Can you do me a favor?
Uh-huh.
You know we got to be commercial this time. Can you look into the camera
Okay.
and tell those who won this seed right here?
Okay.
I need you looking into the camera. That
Hi,
beautiful
guys.
face.
Hi, guys. So tonight, congratulations to all of the men that won the He and She Summit seed from Apostle Sean Jenkins. So I want to make sure that I say your names again. Daniel Leach, congratulations to you. Jamie Lindsay, congratulations to you. Derek Steele, congratulations to you. Brian Dickerson, congratulations to you. And George Bowers III, congratulations to you. After this, we need you to make sure you go to my email, Kadisha Jenkins Ministries @gmail.com. Again, it's Kadisha Jenkins Ministries @gmail.com. When you go to that email, make sure you email your full name and your correct email address so that we can send you over all the information and you tell us that you were sponsored tonight by Apostle Sean. If you look in the comment section, you will see the moderators stating the information that I just spoke. Again, congratulations.
She does such a good job. You see what happens when you're in God? You see that? Excellence.
Excellence.
Come on now. We give Pastor Kadisha, Apostle Kadisha another. That's my woman of God. My woman of God. I deserve that out of those 20 years. My woman. So make sure that she says you were sponsored by The Cave on tonight. So you are sponsored by Apostle Sean / The Cave. So I believe tonight, y'all, I believe tonight has been awesome. I believe for us, we put some seeds in the ground and we allow them to know that we coming. And how many men we gonna save through this cave?
100 million.
100 million. Come on now. So 100 what?
100 million.
100 M's, he said. So this is what I want to do. We're going to close out in prayer. And before we close out in prayer, we want to let you know that for us, we want you to join us next month. You got to be here next month. It's going to get even more radical. We're going to even go to the depths to make sure that we touch on every topic that a man probably going through or that maybe a woman might need help with. So we're going to go and lay before the Lord and make sure that we get the topics that God wants us to speak on. So right now, we're going to pray our way out. So if everybody that's on live or in the house, can you please stand for me? Matter of fact, hey, we can pray or we can make a sound. We can do whatever y'all want to do. Or we can do both. I should have a keyboard right now. We really went in. Come on now. So I'm going to pray and we're going to roar after that. So, Father, right now as we come before you, Father, we believe, God, that you was in the midst of us on tonight, God. We believe, God, that every word, God, that came out each and every man's mouth on tonight, God, was a word that came from you, Father. Father, I'm believing, God, that the word that came out, God, was a word, God, that a man that was on live had needed, God. I'm believing, God, that through this word, God, that man, God, that maybe live a worldly life, God, he would change and he will reroute, God, his direction, God, and his direction, God, and his foundation, God, will be your foundation. Father, I'm believing, God, that there's a man, God, that will struggle with his identity on tonight, God, that he will no longer struggle with his identity, God, that he will find himself in you, God. I'm believing tonight, God, that the cave, God, allows seed, God, to go into the earth, God, and that the seed that went into the earth, God, it will sprout, it will grow, Father. I'm believing, God, that we will have, God, 100 million men, God, be saved through his cave, God. God, I'm believing, God, that the vision that you have given the cave, God, shall come forth, God. I'm believing, God, that men shall be healed, that men shall be set free, God. I'm believing that no men, God, when they see this cave, God, they will be held captive, God. That I'm believing, God, they will not be a prisoner in their own mindset, God, but they shall be free, God. I'm believing, God, that chains are broken, God, through this life, Father. Father, I'm believing right now, God, that you are shifting, God, that you are taking your men back, that you are taking them, that you are capturing them, God, and that you are bringing them back to their rightful place. Father, I'm believing right now that they're going to be better in the household, God, for their wives, that they're going to be better for their kids, Father. Father, I'm believing right now, God, that they're going to be better just for the people that they come in contact with. I'm believing, God, that they're going to be better, God, for their neighborhood, for their environment, God, for their atmosphere, for the jobs that they are working right now. God, I'm believing that you did something new on tonight, God. God, I'm believing, God, that you, Father, you're going to meet us back here next month, Father, and that you're going to set more men free. Father, I'm believing right now, Jesus, that you did it on tonight. I'm believing that. And Father, right now, we're going to roar tonight for you. We're going to roar, Father. We're going to make a sound right here. That the ones that tune into this live later, that
that when we war, God, that they're going to go to their households and their family's going to be set free and their son's going to be set free. So, Father, we give you thanks for the night. In Jesus' name we pray. And as we roar, we're going to make a sound so you can roar right there. Yes, God. So until next month, we're going to see you back here on the King. We love you, and we out.
Now, I'm confident in Christ that this blessed someone's heart and shifted minds. And if you like to contribute and bless this ministry, bless this message tonight, you can freely give at mbomi.org, or if you like to use Cash App, $MBOMI, the number 8. And we thank you for visiting, for joining with us, for worshiping with us. And we hope that, I know that you receive. In Jesus' name, we seal it. Amen.